Howdy, 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 how, good people. I'm back. YouTube decided to ban my last live stream worldwide. I got a copyright, and it's because at the very end of my 4-hour live stream, 4-hour long live stream, I played the an SNL S&L. Damn. SNL. No, it is SNL. Okay. Yeah, whatever. I'm still a little upset. Okay, Saturday Night Live, NBC's crap. Yeah. So there it is. I messed up and shared something that got me copyright claim, and they banned they banned my stinking live stream worldwide. So don't mess with NBC. Don't play any of their stuff. Of course, the video I played was already on YouTube too. That's usually how it works too. But so what I'm fixing to do, I'm screen sharing. I'm fixing to replay tonight's live stream minus the ending that got me the copyright claim. And that way I'll at least have it. You guys, that didn't get to see it will be able to see it. And, hopefully they don't stop it or claim, ban it again. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Thank you for being here. If you want to watch it again, or if you didn't get to watch it at all, the quality's not going to be as good, but I want to go ahead, and it won't let me download it. If I could just download the 4 hours, then I could cut out the ending. But it's not letting me do that with the program that I have to download from YouTube. So I'm just going to replay it right now. All right, guys. Thank you. Here we go. Appreciate his service in the Marines. My stepson is a Marine. I think he's getting out in June. He's been in 4 years. Mike did 4 years. But we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, it is good to see you guys. Good. I'm glad he's getting some food in him. I don't know if he's still alive or if he ended his show, but I'm so glad that he's going to be doing live shows. That'll be great to catch those. And he does a lot of breaking down of what's going on in the world and what's going on in the Bible, and he relates the two. So good stuff, definitely. So what I have for y'all tonight, I'll go ahead and get into it just in case he does join us and we talk about other stuff. So what I have is Oscar Mayer, the way that I remember it, and many other people remember it. And I'm gonna go to screen share here. Just get right on to it. Again, I appreciate you guys being here very much. And so here we go. What we have here is where I put in up here Oscar Mayer, spelled the way I remember it. That's all I did in Google. Oscar Mayer, Meyer. And this is what comes up under images. and of course, it's asking me, did you mean Oscar Mayer, 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 which is stupid. Okay. So, and then you've got here alternate memories, which I've been through their whole site on a live stream. It's a good site for Mandela effects. Oscar Mayer without the anything there. And then, of course, I snagged this and used it, which is the thumbnail of today's Oscar Mayer or Oscar Mayer. You got that there. But, so over here, when I clicked on this, this is mysteries, controversies, issues, and secrets. I've never seen this website before. They got cover-ups and Bigfoot. Karen would like this. They got stuff on Karen. Oh, no, stuff on Karen. Stuff on Bigfoot, Loch Ness monster, UFOs, health, DNA changes, consciousness, healing, mysterious illnesses, super healings, paranormal, life after death, paranormal happenings, predictions, prophecies, psychic kids, psychics, like, okay. Random stuff here, mysteries, pyramids, religion, universe, weather, atmosphere. Okay. So anyway, let me go ahead and bookmark them, add them to the thousands of bookmarks I already have. And so their article here is Oscar Mayer or Oscar Mayer. So we have all heard of Oscar Mayer wieners, right? So what does this hot dog and bologna makers have to do with the Mandela effect? Well, many people believe that the brand name used to be spelled Oscar Mayer. Of course it did, with the E-Y-E-R. The correct spelling right now is Oscar Mayer. That's how I'm going to say it. So if you don't like it, oh well. But I'm saying Mayer because it's foreign to me. Lots of people believe that it used to be spelled with an E, and that is how it is still pronounced. Yeah, imagine that. But I'm not going to pronounce it that way. Remember the jingle? My baloney has a first name. It's Oscar. Baloney, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so how do you remember it spelled? I'm going to go ahead and click their little thing here and vote, and we'll see the results. And it looks like 88 people remember it being Oscar Mayer with the E, and 43 voted. So half that voted the other way. So half took the update, and the other remember like us. Are y'all seeing? Are we screen sharing and all that good stuff? Let me know if y'all were seeing what I was showing, and if the audio is okay, please. Thank you for coming on in here, guys. Good to see you, Rick. Good to see you. Show me, Sasquatch. Jake. Good to see you. Tom. Anybody else I miss? Anybody else that's being quiet and not chatting? But anyway, so yeah. But of course, we know that it used to be Oscar Mayer, Jake, like that. But they never changed the name. It's a Mandela effect. It's unfortunately, I wish it was that they just decided to change it to Oscar Mayer, but they didn't. So that's that. It is a real Mandela effect. No way to debunk this one. All right, so back over here. Let's see what they've got. A little video here, but it's gone now. It looks like it's deleted. Here is the very first, I think, Oscar Mayer commercial they ever had. I showed it last night, I believe, but I'll go ahead and show it now too. Oh, I'd love to be an astronaut. Anybody wants to check out this site? It's called whataretheanswers.ecorrect.net. Okay. Wow. Yeah, we're gonna bookmark it there. Let's see. So what we have here, when you go to it, is Mandela effect stuff. Wow. So more than anything, it looks like they've become a Mandela effect site. Mandela effect, Darth Vader never said, Luke, I'm your father. Hannibal Lecter never says, hello, Clarice. Sex in the City is now Sex and the City. So on and so on. The Oscar Mayer one. Berenstein Beers. Okay. Plenty more. Hey, Bigfootville. Bigfoot Yeti. UFO and all that good stuff. Okay. Anyway, like I said, all I was going to show you was the article itself from them. But now, the big residue that I found coming up here, I even watched the whole episode, but they never say what the title. They never say the whole words of the title. But in 1993, there was an episode of NYPD Blue that the name of the episode was Oscar Mayer Wiener. Okay, Oscar Mayer Wiener, 1993. And look at here. It was spelled exactly like many people remember it, including me. Oscar Mayer, Meyer. That's the name of the NYPD Blue episode. And I'm going to take you right to the their website too. So you just say you think that that IMDb misspelled it. No, because this is exactly how the show is spelled on their website for the show. Okay, so I've got that saved, and I will show you that here in a minute for sure. So there you go. That's a good piece of residue right there. That the network and the show NYPD Blue remembered it being Oscar Mayer, not Oscar Mayer. All righty, folks. Yep. That's a good one, I do believe. And let me just show you, because I definitely have it here somewhere, right here. Okay, here it is. Here it is again. See, there's the IMDb, but here's NYPD Blue, season 1, episode 1, season 1, episode 10. Oscar Mayer Wiener. See, there it is. Oscar Mayer Wiener. NYPD Blue. A few others that go out there and find the stuff, but it is out there because many people at the very least remember this guy right here, Richard Filoni. What Filoni? Yeah, see, Filoni. He remembers. He ate a lot of bologna because his last name is Filoni. Anyway, oh goodness gracious. So yes, I'm telling you, there's just plenty of Oscar Mayer with the E evidence out there. Does anyone remember Oscar Mayer sandwich spread? And can you give me a mock recipe? This person is desperately trying to find what they ate when they were a kid. Oscar Mayer sandwich spread. Anybody ever eat Oscar Mayer sandwich spread? Let me check what's going on here in StreamYard. Hey. Christian Knapp, good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Always. What is happening? You can join me if you want, Kristen, if you got time. I'm going through a bunch of ME right now, but we might be joined by Mike, the like see God warrior, here in a little bit if he decides to come on. But always good to see you, Christian Knapp. Appreciate you. Everybody should sub and follow Christian Knapp. He makes great music and he's very wise, very wise man. And I'm not scared, so I'm going to go ahead and put the link out there. If you've joined me before, you can come on. If you have joined me as a co-host before, you can certainly click the link and come on in. Don't be scared. But anyway, all right, back to Oscar Mayer. Let's see, where was I? I think right here, yes. So this person wants that sandwich spread they love so much. And, no, not me, but each their own. So apparently, there it is right there. Oscar Mayer with the A, of course, it's been Mandela. Oscar Mayer sandwich spread in the tube there. Made from select beef, pork, salad dressing, choice spices, handy stay fresh casing. You just slice it off and eat it. And people loved it. Peanut butter and bacon spread. Ooh. No, thank you. Really? Ooh. I wonder if that was Jiffy peanut butter. Just kidding. All right. So that was that one for you there. And then this one here, free Oscar Mayer Lunchable subs. Sarah, a thrifty mom, shared this on thriftymom.com. And she says you can get Oscar Mayer Lunchable subs at $1.25. Woohoo! I don't want it, but there you go. She remembers Oscar Mayer with an E, folks. Yep. All right. There was that one from Business Insider, Fox 8. Okay, so what else we got? We got some more. Don't worry. Do not worry. There is more. Get rid of that. And over here, check this out. I put in Oscar Mayer in YouTube. And it said, "Did you mean Oscar Mayer?" No, I did not. I don't want no Oscar Mayer. Oh, dear. Well, let me see what we got going on here. Okay. I only remember the wieners, Brenda says. Good to see you, Brenda, too, by the way. All right, so what we have here on YouTube is crazy examples of the Mandela effect. And, of course, they're showing the Oscar Mayer one here. So this guy might be debunking. I don't know. We're going to watch it and check it out, see what his thing is with the Mandela effect and the Oscar Mayer. So here we go. This is from The Biggest. He's not a Mandela channel. He's just somebody that covers big issues, whatever. So here we go. Let's check that out.
Are there alternate versions of history? Are there things that have happened that many of us remember that history says didn't? Well, this list is going to delve into some of those things that millions would swear they remember happening one way when they happened entirely different. This is a list that might hurt your head, so brace yourself. This is Crazy Examples of the Mandela Effect.
Hey, Mike, good to see you. Glad you joined me. Can you hear me?
For having me.
Yes, it's great to have you.
Thanks for having me on, Tommy. I appreciate you letting me come on with you.
Oh man, come on! You're a star in our community. We really appreciate you. I definitely, look forward to whenever I see you on any show, and I definitely will be looking forward to your live stream. So, you've been through hell and back like me, and maybe
you're breaking up real bad.
Okay, hang on just a second. Then it's because I have so many windows open, but just hang on, bear with me. Is that helping?
I think I caught most of it, but
I got you. Well, I've just got a lot open at the moment.
You've did some really good content videos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear you. Come on. Yeah. Okay. I got you. So anyway, let's go ahead and kick back and watch this real quick on the Mandela effect, if you don't mind, and then we'll talk about some stuff and definitely get some good conversation going on any topic and every topic, but definitely the Bible and how Revelation is playing out in front of us. I love having that conversation. All right, thank you again for being here. Hey, Mad Pyman.
Well, that's what my channel.
And yeah, that's why I'm so glad that you're going to be doing more live streams, brother. Seriously. Yep. Awesome. All right, so here we go. Let's watch this thing, and I'm going to mute my thing. I'm going to mute so there won't be any over feed or back feed. All right. Yep.
Okay.
Fact 14. Where's the... Okay, now, somebody has to be messing with us, or they're going back and changing history as we know it. Do you know this picture? Do you remember old King Henry VIII holding a turkey leg in his hand as he posed for this portrait? We know that when you say it out loud, it sounds a little odd. Why would a king want to be painted with a turkey leg in his hand? But we'd swear that we remember him having one. And it was funny. We can almost remember laughing at the photo sometime throughout our schooling or with friends or something. We can't remember specifics though, so maybe it didn't really happen? He had a turkey leg. However, that's not the case, and his portrait was painted sans leg. But we're not the only ones to remember this. Lots of other people do. Mandela. 13. Champions of the world. Okay, so we all know the Queen song, We Are the Champions, right? How do you remember the song ending? It goes on and on about being the champions, but do you remember it ending because we are the champions? Or because we are the champions of the world? We distinctly remember the of the world. We would swear that it was there once upon a time. The memory of emphasizing and dramatically ending the song with of the world is so vivid and sharp, but apparently that's not how the song goes, nor has it ever gone that way, in this reality at least. 12. Challenger. If you were around in the 80s, you might remember the day the Challenger space shuttle faced its sad, catastrophic fate. That day was January 28, 1986, and it was due to a faulty O-ring that the shuttle failed and exploded not long after takeoff. It was a tough, sad day for the United States, and it was made even sadder considering it was to be the flight that Krista McAuliffe, a school teacher, got to be a part of after winning a spot on board. There was so much media coverage and so many eyes paying attention that it may come as a surprise that many people remember the Challenger disaster happening 2 years earlier, in 1984. It's actually quite a common example of the Mandela effect, and it makes you wonder if maybe, in some universe, it didn't happen before when we remember it now. 11. In the City, right? Does anyone know the super popular show Sex and the City being called Sex in the City at some point in time? Because we distinctly remember it being called that, and it just seems to make more sense. When did they change it? Apparently never, at least according to all those associated with the show, but many totally remember it having in the title rather than and. And the new name of the show, the real name of the show, has people somewhat confused. Darn reality. 10. Why are they doing this to us? Okay, now this is one we're sure about. Absolutely positive about. At least we think we are. Seeing that Jiffy peanut butter isn't a real thing is really messing with our minds and making us question our grip on reality right now. Jif? That's what it's called? That's what it's been called all this time. No Jiffy. What is this, some kind of boring single-syllable world that we're living in? This is ridiculous. We don't know precisely who is messing with us, but someone is obviously doing it. How can so many people remember all of these things, but they've never really been? This is like the Twilight Zone. 9. I am to Papa. So this is one significantly widely believed example of the Mandela effect. How in the world, or in the galaxy, do so many people remember the line being, Luke, I am your father, when it's actually, no, I am your father. It's the truth. We're not lying. Go back and watch the original film and you'll see for yourself. The first time we did that, it sounded strange because we were anticipating a wholly different line. And then when Darth Vader busted out the no instead of Luke, our heads began to hurt. Millions upon millions of people remember the line beginning with the name of the protagonist and not a no. It's even been quoted in movies as Luke. So what gives? We don't know, but it's amazing how we all remember one thing and it's actually another. This is some kind of conspiracy. 8. While we're talking about it, yeah. So while we're on the subject of Star Wars, we figured we'd mention this other thing about it that barely anyone remembers and hardly anyone ever noticed. C-3PO's leg. Have you ever noticed that he has one silver leg, but the rest of his body is gold? How did we never catch this? Because it didn't used to be that way, that's how. Or at least that's the idea. We don't think we're crazy, nor do the millions of others who swear that C-3PO was entirely gold. Why did they go in and change this after the fact? How did they get their hands on all of our VHSs and DVDs from our homes to edit and alter them? Sneaky little Siths. 7. Popped like a balloon. This picture is a huge part of history and is probably one of the more famous photos of all time. The setting is Tiananmen Square. The players are several tanks and one unknown man. The outcome? The survival of the man, but one iconic picture. But did you know that there are those who would swear that this scene ended much, much differently? In fact, they don't remember this man walking away from this because they see him getting run down by the tanks in their memories. They remember the tanks not stopping and waiting for him to move. Instead, they merely rolled right over him and kept going. What is this, North Korea? Thankfully, the version of history in this reality had the man survive, and he lived to protest another day. 6. Oscar Mayer. Except it's not. The real name of the company is Oscar, M-A-Y-E-R. Isn't that strange? Couldn't you swear you remembered it being spelled with 2 E's instead of just the one? When we look back in our memories, Mayer with an A just doesn't seem to fit with the brand at all. Wouldn't this be pronounced like Mayer, like John Mayer? Mayer is supposed to be spelled with an E as the first vowel. At least in our mind's eye, that's what we see associated with the meat company. We would have fought and argued and refused to give in had someone told us that it was M-A-Y-E-R before stumbling across this on the internet. What the heck? What? Where are we? We want some ruby red slippers. 5. Swayze, baby. We all know that Patrick Swayze sadly passed away from pancreatic cancer back in 2009. Well, at least some of us know that. There are some, though, who totally remember the actor making a recovery from his fatal disease and living on to, well, live on. Maybe they're thinking of Michael Douglas or even De Niro or something, but those who remember the alternate version of history would swear by it and find it hard to believe that Swayze was taken from us by the deadly disease. Sadly, the man who brought us all those great films in his time, like Dirty Dancing, Ghost, and The Outsiders, was taken from us, and it's most unfortunate. But maybe he does live on in an alternate universe, somewhere quite close to our own. Makes you kind of happy to consider it, right? 4. Monopoly monocle. Wait, so the Monopoly man doesn't wear a monocle? What? Since when? Apparently, he's never worn one, so that answers our question. But we most definitely remember him wearing one, don't we? There are some who say that he did rock the monocle for a time, and at some point, the game changed, and they took away his iconic eyepiece. But a lot is pointing to the fact that he maybe never wore one in the first place. How does this happen? How is there so much conflicting information? There are lots of theories out there that try to explain this whole thing, but most of the information about the Monopoly man, aka Rich Uncle Pennybags, says that he never wore one, and that this is, in fact, yet another prime example of the Mandela effect. 3. Pikachu's tail. Were you into Pokemon as a kid? If you were born in the late 1980s through the early 2000s, you probably remember the iconic Pikachu, as he was Ash Ketchum's pet Pokemon and friend. Do you remember him having a black tipped tail, or did it just ride out yellow all the way up? From what we can recall, that little bugger most definitely had a black tip on that little happy wagger, and nobody else can tell us differently. Except they are telling us differently. Apparently, little Pika never had that black tipped tail that we remember, and it's genuinely confusing because how? How do so many of us remember this tail that never really existed? Or did something somewhere along the timeline change? Did Doc and Marty really mess something up and send us skewing down this alternate timeline beginning in 1985? We don't know. This is all too much. 2. Bernstein Bears. This is one that we're probably never going to get past considering everything in history is wrong, and we're right, and there's no arguing it. But there is, sadly, and it's not really Bernstein with an E-I-N, but Bernstein with an A-I-N. How can our memories be so faulty? How can we completely remember it being spelled with an E instead of an A? Who would spell it with an A in the first place? There are millions upon millions of people who would stand alongside us and argue that it was an E to their dying days. So at least we're not alone on this one. But, as everything seems to show, we're wrong, and our childhoods are forever going to be tainted with this false memory in our minds. Forever. Just makes us wonder what else we remembered incorrectly from when we were kids. On second thought, we don't really want to know. Darn it, Mandela. 1. Nelson Mandela. Alright, so this is the one the whole effect is named after. So here we go. Nelson Mandela was a South African revolutionary and was even the president of South Africa from 1994 to 1999. But many remember him not even making it into the 90s. They remember him passing away in prison in the 1980s, and many of them have full-fledged memories of his funeral being shown on TV way back then. In reality, he passed in 2013, following a battle with a respiratory infection, or so they tell us. Tons of people from all over the globe would swear on everything they have that he died in the 1980s, but that just doesn't seem to be what history tells us. In this reality, obviously, enough people believe this to have the whole effect named after him, an effect that drives us all mad and makes us feel as though we belong in some kind of psychiatric ward. Oh, Mandela, thanks for giving a name to this horrible thing. Rest in peace. How? Why? Who's going around messing with history and the memories of millions, maybe billions of people around the globe? The Mandela effect is genuinely crazy, and we hope to one day have the answers as to why so many collectively remember different versions of the same events and things. Did this hurt your brain too? Tell us what you thought in the
Good stuff there, huh? You muted. Good presentation, wasn't it?
That was a good. Those was one I wanted to add to that. I know you've probably talked to the Statue of Liberty. Now on Liberty Island and Black Tom are two that it blows my mind more that people don't.
Right.
Like it's
Yeah.
Right. It's. I know.
Yeah,
You
I
was
do have a
there
Black
when I
Tom
was on
video,
Brian's
too.
show. We talked about that. Yeah, it's me and Brian talked about that a lot. It's to me, it's more kind of like appalling or mind blowing the amount that don't notice a lot of these things. It's just to us, we're like this is obvious beyond. But
Exactly.
you brought up the Patrick Swayze one. I hadn't heard that one yet.
Oh, really? Yeah. I've definitely.
Yeah, I remember.
There's a lot of celebrity death ones. Yeah,
I hadn't heard
must
that
have a
one
little
yet,
bit
though. But no, I distinctly remember him dying. It was like on the front page of People magazine, if I'm not mistaken, when he died.
Right. Yeah. So but we're just crazy, or we're just smoking too much weed, or whatever they wanted to say. That.
Yeah, and man,
Yeah, it's
so,
crazy.
so much been. It seems like November that dumb movie came out. Then it seemed
Yep.
like online, like trolling or whatever, and then the Criminal Minds on mainstream
Yeah.
television.
Yeah. That's big. A lot of people watch
I
that
have
show.
not seen.
A lot of people watch that show. It's my
Absolutely,
sister's favorite
this is
show.
the level they're taking it to.
Yeah. Yeah. This is their last season, Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
So
This is
people
the
are going to
level
pay
they're taking
attention
it
to it. Yeah. There is way too much.
Yeah, like main prime time television or whatever. It's
Yeah, it's a huge show.
yeah, that's on mainstream, prime time TV. So, but that's how hard they're literally taking it to this level. It shows you what they don't want being talked about. It really does.
But listen to this now. What I like to tell people that say, well, you people that say the end is possibly near, tribulation's near, whatever like that. They like to say that we've heard that forever. That people have been saying that forever. Well, right. Because of the Mandela effect and the Bible changes and the wars and rumors of wars and so on and so on, there are signs now everywhere that should help people see, that now there is something really coming, the climax soon, right?
Hey, yeah, I know me talk about it waking up around 2013. In the last 7 years alone, the escalation of some of these things, they're even having like public, like saying prayers to Satan at city meet after school, Satan for children. I seen float you right on up the damn Baphomet. People can say what they want, but in the last 7 years alone, this has sped up to a level that's, I mean, it is what it is.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it's becoming clear.
We have evidence now. When we say we think the end is near, we have stuff to point to. Right. The sun has changed. I mean, everything is just so weird.
Yeah, you can just look up. I know exactly sun and the moon. At times, I looked at it a couple weeks ago. The shape wasn't even like a circle. It was, I don't know, but take the sun and moon out. Just look at the sky. These trails everywhere, and just the way the sky looks, it didn't look like it. No.
Yeah, chemtrails was the first thing I ever shared on YouTube that was outside of my music world, and then even though many people weren't watching my videos, I kept making them. So I've got a bunch on here of chemtrails and the weird sun and the pink and purple, sunsets. I know when I was growing up, I was outside a lot. I didn't have. Or I had the Atari and whatever, but I didn't care as much about video games and stuff. So I wanted to be outside, and I certainly never saw the pink, the vivid pink and purple, sunsets and sunrises like we get now. It's crazy, man.
Right. It's things going on. I mean, the skies, quantum effect. Everything down to, I talk about just in general, the number of people in general anymore. That's a sign. But we didn't realize how crazy the end times were really going to get. It's not over yet. It's
no, exactly. Yep. We will have to and go through a lot more than we already have, probably. And we should always prepare for the worst and hope for the best. But I think that
no doubt.
I think that if since most a lot of us have let go and let God guide us through all this, I know he's telling me, he keeps, it's like, we're informed on what we should be doing, prepping or whatever, and things, how we should be, growing and it's
Right.
it's wonderful to have the Holy Spirit, in your life and helping you,
Amen. One thing I just briefly bring up, every month I've been buying like 2 or 3, like I think it's a 2-pound bag of rice. It's like $1.18, and I'm just stocking them up. That's to prepare. You make it less when you see you have to, and things like that.
Right.
Even canned goods. Just if you can, like you're saying, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. But I'd rather be a little bit prepared than just. I mean, I don't. The ultimate, you have to. I think to get through this, you have to seek a relationship with the Most High God through Christ.
Right.
That's. I will
pretty sure
pull you through it, but to not.
Yeah, I know, brother. Yeah, I think this is my nephew one, and that they say, well, Trump and Netanyahu and all these world leaders are reading the Bible, and they're just using it as a game plan, right? And doing all this stuff to make all this come about. Well, that's only the case because God knew what man was going to do, and that was a record that he took down. And whether or not they go by the book or not, they were still going to do those things. Don't you think?
Hey, Tommy, I talk about a lot of channels don't bring this up. In Daniel chapter 11, that's the chapter before the last chapter of that book. It talks about that they would try to fulfill the vision and would fail. Most people ignore it, and that shows you, they're trying to do this, but like, I think someone, possibly someone like Jared Kushner as the Antichrist, literal, like the real false Messiah is going to appear to have like came back, and that's kind of, it's an idea. I'm not swearing that's right, but it's something I would at least keep in my mind to brace yourself.
Well, there are a lot of people that
talks about they would try and would fall.
Yeah, there are a lot of people looking at Jared Kushner, the Jews, that they would probably accept him. Who knows? But now, speaking of the Jews, we should bring up the Noahide laws, because they are dangerous to anybody that is an idolater, and we're considered an idolater apparently.
Hey, for bringing that up, one channel I go on a lot, Sean's channel. He brings up, this Zionist action a lot, and the channels they won't touch it, and
I know
they're glorifying a group of mankind, putting them on a pedestal, like borderline like worship. The way I've heard some of these pastors talk, no, we're warned about them in 9 and 3:9. We're warned. Christ referred to them as the synagogue of Satan. So that's his thoughts on it. And a lot, like, they ignore it, like just go right by it. Like, I've even seen people read it and skip around those verses. Like, come on now.
Yep.
Let me grab my Bible.
Excuse me. And I like to tell people that I like to show them this Bible right here. I've had for 20 going on 30 years almost. It's 1994. My father bought me this Bible in 1994 at the Fundamentalist Bible Church. It's a King James version, but it's also a Schofield Study Bible, which has its own, people have their own problems with it because of the rapture stuff, I think, or whatever. But anyway, I've lost everything I've owned several times in my life, and this Bible's stuck there with me, when I've lost everything. And the last time was a number of years ago in a flood. I lost everything but the Bible and the clothes on my back. But anyway, I do know that it's changing, and when I saw all these changes, happening, I called my fundamentalist hometown pastor, and he just went into defense mode. Whether or not he even saw the changes or not, and I think he does now. But we'll get to that too. But he just said no. It's always said the lion, the wolf with and that wineskins wasn't in there, or and that this and that. But I do think he sees the changes now, but is too scared to tell his church, hey, the Bible's supernaturally changing. They would probably run for the doors, the exits.
Yeah, brother, but the truth, you see the hits we take for talking about it. It's like some aren't willing to do it.
Exactly.
And if you see it, if you're standing on truth, you need to talk about it, try to hide it.
Yeah, that's right.
I've talked about, I think that some of these changes I've seen, like the direction it seems to be going, they try to use this all justify like the false Messiah. It's
yeah, exactly. Yes, you're on something there too.
I've talked about that many times on shows, and then just in videos I do. It's something I attention to and not be caught off guard by it. But one thing you talk about a lot, the last chapter of Daniel, and then even like in Matthew 24, Christ talking about this time of trouble like never before. He specifies, since there ever was a nation.
Exactly.
And people that suggest we're in the tribulation, we are not in a time of ever before, not yet. It's, believe me, the entire world's gonna know it when this happens.
I think that the atheists are going to band together with the Muslims and everybody else, and they're going to be Christians burned in churches, and stuff. I mean, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets any better or whatever. But we're not trying to be doom and gloom here. We're just we know that we're talking to people that are mostly awake and aware of these things. But anyway, we're definitely. I've seen the timeline where that Israel will be a nation for 80 years. Oh, I lost you. What? I hope your internet didn't go down on you. But come back when you can, Brother Mike.
AR movement, I think is what Sean says they call it. They're getting it in place. They can't enforce it like these know how to at the moment. But a catastrophic event, the Bible says it's going to bring the world to its end. It would be as the mourning of an only son, the end thereof as a bitter day. That it's going to bring the world to its event like that. Then they could probably integrate these laws exactly how they want to, and the Noahide laws are completely compatible with Islam, with Sharia law. I think they completely compatible. Pushing this one world religion on May having that big movement. I did some videos videos on if anyone watching's never heard of that. The video I did is only like 15, 14 minutes. And am I still okay? About this May 14th thing, because we know there's going to be a one world government, which includes a monetary system and religion. One world, cashless society, which be through this technology. I can't RFID chips the mark, but it emits and receives radio. It can receive frequency. Plus, it would do what it's described. Mm-hmm. No cell, save he that had the mark. That would fall in with that too. It'll totally be agree. Monetary system, and there, will be a one world religion government for their.
Mm-hmm. Hey, brother. You're breaking up at times, but not where we couldn't understand you. But we're gonna have to let's just both just say a prayer real quick about the live stream and just bless it. God, please.
It's all this has been talked about. It's in prophecy.
Hey, hold on a second. I just got a friend request from Richie from Boston on Facebook.
Okay.
He's followed me for years on Twitter, but I'm surprised that he'd hit me up on Facebook too.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. These medals to go with, now they're rolling out these 10, it's air frequency referred to Satan as the Lord. Don't take it how, I like airwaves and frequencies manipulating those. They are sending you see, me and Brian talked about these people, they all get this mentality at the same time, like as if a signal was some. It sounds crazy, and I'll be the years ago I'd have laughed what I'm saying, but when you look into it, they're doing it. There's not but the way people groups, same minds quick in a short period of time, like with an agenda, it makes more and more sense to possibly what's going on, and we're not affected by the grace of God. Believe me, I take it as a blessing to be able to see what we do. Don said that Rich, you don't have a Facebook.
Yeah, and I just remembered that. So, but he has followed me for a few years on Twitter, so that's why I thought maybe he decided to get on Facebook. But yeah, it's probably a troll then.
See what? Yeah. See what? I'm in it there. That's getting into what I was about. Like I think he sees what I'm saying. These that's why I think like the RFID I said emits and receives radio waves. If you get that implanted in you, like it's kind of suggesting it would like literally be like putting an antenna for these frequencies inside of your body, and think is in the right hand or forehead. If that thing somehow to your literally be controlled. And about that, it talks about we're told that that God doesn't dwell in, he dwells within us, and it talks about the Antichrist being in the holy place where he ought not be. It says holy place. I kind of take it that through this technology, that's kind of what it's saying, that he's going to be able to dwell within inside of mankind for those two. And, that would fit in with it, like literally putting an antenna inside of your body where these airwaves and frequencies could like take it takes hive mind to a whole new level. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep.
No doubt. That's and these metals in it, it's like they need that to bond to the waves and all. I thoughts in anyway. It's made. I started thinking that way about 2 years ago. More proof in the last 2 years, and more things to convince me that I don't think it's far fetched. I think it's happening.
I put the
and Matt Pyman's talking about, it could very well fall into something with these vaccines. That's not far fetched. But pay attention to.
Yeah. So shout out to the crowd here.
Another thing they don't want you talking about the vaccines. Go for
exactly.
it.
Yep. Yep. Trevor called. When Trevor called, he was asking about the if we had anything on the virus. So I said, yeah, I'm sure that you want to say something about the virus, and I'm gonna put up a banner special for that right now too.
Okay.
Here we go. Right here.
Anyone that's interested, tomorrow morning between 10 and noon, I was going to try to get off stream. Some of the viewers wanted to kind of touch on like spiritual warfare. And, everyone's welcome to join. It'll be between 10 and noon Eastern time tomorrow. But everyone's more than welcome.
Hey, Mark from System Failure in the house. Howdy, how?
System failure.
Howdy, how? System failure. The system is failing.
Texas.
Yes. Brenda Mitchell, Craig, all you good people. Appreciate y'all being here. I'm sure there's other live streams on we're competing with at this point, but I don't care about numbers. Just we get the message out and people can watch it later too, and they usually do. So
that is one good thing is it saves the replay where people can't. It is, it does that.
Mm-hmm. When I just paid them the other day, StreamYard, it said they were going to only record 4 hours of any of my shows, but it actually recorded 8 hours the whole show, and it's on there. So I was like, wow, all right, thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, and I only paid them 25. Yeah. Normally you have to pay them 40 to get the whole 8 hours, I guess. But good to see you, Mad. Always good to see you, Mad. We're having a little bit of delay and problems, or I'd say, I'd love to have you join us, Mad, if you have the time. But I don't know if we can handle 3 tonight, bandwidth wise, I guess. But definitely always glad to have you around, Mad. You are a wise man. Have you ever talked to Mad Pyman? Mad Pyman.
Just briefly in the comments.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
this is his backup team.
Watching this vaccine coming in too.
Yeah. Hey, Tobin, swing, batter, swing, swing. Tobin's in the house. Good to see you. So did you ever watch Judge Judy? Just for a minute, getting back to the Mandela effect for a minute. Did you ever watch Judge Judy?
Yeah.
Do you remember her having a gavel?
Where I used to live, it was just I remembered it. Some of these are one that gets me too is the JFK card.
Of course,
everyone's seen that. If you're 20, if you're my age, you should remember as much as we've seen it over the years. It's 6 people. Been in the museum. It's got a 4-seater car. It's like, wake up. It's earlier. It's more appalling to me how the masses don't see it. What's going on that this is happening? It's more appalling to me how many.
Is it a self-delusion or a delusion that God's put on them? Yeah, exactly. Because it's common sense to us. We think, man, who couldn't see it? But they don't.
I've tried to word it. I've worded it similar. That's why we use delusional, because to us it's beyond obvious, and I've seen it in person, brother. Like. There's some they literally cannot see it. They literally cannot. And that's what got me thinking this very well could be the strong delusion. To us they are delusional. It's like, how can you not see it? And and it's getting worse. Some of the things happening with Liberty's just like moved to the location, like it got up and went. And the appearance of it, there's been things change on it too. It's crazy, man. It's definitely crazy times. I've talked about it to see something like this.
Yeah, they do have a backstory for Black Tom, and they have a backstory for the difference, the look on the Statue of Liberty. They said that they originally the flame was all like copper, but they punched holes in it to make it like a real lighthouse. They cut out holes in it and put and I guess had light in it at some time. And then also they changed out the arm and the crown or something when in the 80s. And that the old torch is in the museum now, and you can go see it, the original torch.
I've talked about they've played it nicely over time. They got people reliant, including myself. You could just Google something if you didn't know the answer. Everyone reliant on a way to look for answers. So these back, they alter the history, whatever. People on see right here, it says it's been this way since forever. Consciousness. That's when you think about it, I've talked about this. Our consciousness, our soul, that's the breath that God breathed into Adam. The soul goes back to him that gave it for everyone. But it started with that breath, and like your consciousness. You can read in Hebrews chapters 9 through 11. Just really take your time about like your conscience and all. It defines your consciousness. Take it, and it's like people are turning their back on their consciousness, on their even man-made that's not them, but they got the world reliant on finding answers, and now we can see. I mean, it was a well-laid plan. There was a lot of effort. It worked for them. I'm sure they're not dissatisfied with the results or blind.
Right. Yeah. So the JFK. Let's see, what else is there? Do you remember the Lindbergh baby, or what it was? You remember that kidnapping?
Yeah, I remember that's one I remembered. The only one on the video you showed is Pokemon. I'm just not familiar with them, you know.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
didn't-
me neither. I wasn't into Pokemon.
You know, if I'm not
but-
familiar with
but
one, I just
yeah.
But Curious George, he used to swing by his tail.
Yeah,
How do they explain that?
exactly.
My first one, like a lot I've talked to, was the Bernstein Bears. Show you some. When I was a child, same ones from when I was a child. Bought these for me, then they passed down to my sister, and then given back to me. You know, I wanted to keep them. I think it was like 2015 or 6. Saw in a video description it said Bernstein Bears, and I was like, okay, misspelled, you know, and like quick saw that they were saying that it's always been this. I came back here, got a bedroom, had to look for myself. You know, at the time that was the first one I saw, I knew it was wrong. Explanation, but I just kind of like pushed it to the side, like it wasn't a. I don't make it as a big deal, and
Right.
it's probably like a year or longer later I first noticed the Matthew, and you know, like the debunkers or whatever saying it's like verse. The point said in the one I own. Regardless of what verse, just like these books, it's Bernstein. You can even look up, there's a family, Bernstein family. Guess who there's not one for? The Bernstein family.
Exactly.
This name don't even make sense. This name don't even make sense. And you know, I've brought up, there were jokes made about the Bernstein name. Where, you know, I had a relative that would make it. Oh, get out of it. Scout. Sorry, my cat was acting like a, had to run the cat off.
Yeah.
But jokes made related to the name Bernstein. I won't repeat them, I'm sure. But now the joke does not even make sense. It's been Bernstein. You know, it was the Bernstein Bears. You know, I'd bet my life on it. I mean, that's what
Exactly.
I don't. I've talked to a lot of viewers and also some other channels where we've talked about some of these we would literally bet our life on. Like, you know what?
Right.
Still,
we got 20 people in the house, and
Stain. Lame. Who's ever even heard of that name?
I know, and I've said that many times that it's definitely not a Jewish name, and now it is a Jewish name because they made it one, but definitely was not a Jewish name, you know, before the ME. The Berenstein is big for me and many others. And it's proof that a book can be changed supernaturally, just like this Bible has been. I've owned this Bible for almost 30 years. I've read it before and after the Mandela effect changes, and it has changed. I've read those. I read it before and after, and I'm thankful that when I do read it now, still I can say, oh yeah, I remember what it used to say. You know, in most cases, I know exactly what it used to say right away, and I can say, okay. You know, but I don't like to read the Lord shall beat off, in the river, basically, that's what it says now. And that's, it's just trying to make a mockery and blasphemy out of the Lord and stuff. It used to say the Lord will thresh.
Well, I Yeah, Sean Timon was talking about, he noticed things in some of the passages now. It's like a spirit of has flowed with making these changes. The way, like the wording, like what you just said, it it absolutely seems like the spirit of perversion. But
Yep.
but yeah, it was some other the Black Tom backstory. Like first terrorist attack. Okay, when 9/11 happened, why wasn't that brought up at all?
Say that again.
Oh, Bernstein, I can't. In some of these, like few people. There is one of my friends, and some of the commercial ones, like I don't know, like about Pokemon. I don't know about, I don't, guess it. I'm just like, hey, I don't, no. If it don't seem like it holds sense, but my buddy, I've seen him do it. He jumps the gun sometimes. Like he amazed, like when he started seeing it. What we all do that most people don't see. Like it shocked him.
Mm-hmm.
But anytime he would hear about something, and I was like, man, you don't know nothing about that. It is I don't know if you heard when I was on Brian's show, I first like became awake to this. I wasn't in the YouTube. I didn't even watch it at the time. Didn't really use the internet or a phone at that point. This was 2016. And when I saw how many people just around didn't see it, like for about a 2-week period, I thought like I was dead or something. I mean, I was just looking for answers, and I was like, is that possible?
Right.
And I prayed in that period, and within, like I said, within 2 weeks, God showed me, no, you're not dead, but something is going on. You can see that something's not right.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Zillin Rocha
Evan Powers.
Yeah. But she said something about, she said Oscar Mayer changed, so I guess she only knew it with an A. Yeah, it was Meyer for many of us with an E.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's something I don't know about. I don't sweat it. I don't, Craig brought up a channel. He don't use or hasn't recently, but he's did some great content video things. He's did some good work too. Let me see what else. Y'all have to bear with me because I'm just learning this StreamYard and all. Too swift with it at the moment. Let's see. Well, why does it keep jumping now? What was your first
and
one?
Hey,
you like with me? It kind of like stunned me for once, and I was just like, something's going on,
right?
Like something's.
Well, now I'll tell you the ones that hit me the most were the Bible changes, certainly, but not the first. But certainly the Bible changes are the biggest for me, and they hurt me the most.
Well, that's really got my attention.
I definitely took the Mandela effect more serious when I saw the Bible scripture changes. But definitely Berenstein, the old ones, the Lindbergh baby.
Yeah,
There's a personal one
because
for me, a restaurant that never existed. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a real personal one, but I've talked to some people that the way it seems to be speeding up and they're getting more brave or blatant with what they're doing. I think it's only a matter of time before I'll see like a literal personal one, like the area I live in or something. It wouldn't surprise me anyway.
Right.
So what first got me, I saw when I saw scripture ones, and then when I saw the first Matthew 6, like it immediately, like I could feel like God bring up to like the Bernstein Bear one, like wait, that changed now that and like I can remember sitting there for at least 5 minutes, like just shocked, I guess you'd call it, just dumbfounded, and but it hit me that day. Something's up, something's going on, right? Something like crazy.
Let's. So yeah, let's see some other. I mean, there's a lot of them for me. I definitely have Chick-fil-A is kind of a personal one for me too, because I'm writing a song, but one of the lines is I used to eat at Chick-fil-A every day before they added the K, and it's true. Before they added the K, I did eat there almost every day for like a year or two when I was trying to get back on my feet. When I was paralyzed from the waist down from a MS exacerbation or MS relapse, and anyway, but
man.
So I would eat there. My mom would take me, like I said, like every day, every other day at the very least. And then when they added the K, they also changed their chicken. Like the whole chicken sandwich changed, and it was like, not the same chicken anymore, or the same, same cut or whatever. And I didn't want to eat it anymore, and I haven't eaten one since. And that's many years now. That was a big one for me.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, the one when I saw like the moving from Ellis Island to I think I forget who it was, but they'd found some good residual. Remember the Cabbage Patch Kids, those cards, like trading cards?
Yeah.
Well, of the Statue of Liberty with like Ellis Island, it didn't, how they would come up with names like parodies of whatever, but it would have, related to Ellis Island, not Liberty Island. And I know Mike at Airborne Saint has a coin of like Ellis Island, the Statue of Liberty. And, even some of the pictures, like have been taken throughout history, are like now altered because of this thing been moving. It's insane. That's why, at first I just go ahead.
No, I believe you on that one. But for me, I've never been to Statue of Liberty, so I can't vividly remember it, whether it was on Ellis Island or on Liberty Island. But I'm pretty sure, since so many people do, that one's real, that it was a change. But now and the black story for the backstory for Black Tom is that Woodrow Wilson somehow magically kept everybody in the world from knowing that that happened, and which would be absurd. And also 6 months, just 6 months after Black Tom,
man, come on.
6 months after Black Tom, the Germans burned down a building that was just real close to where that Black Tom explosion happened in New Jersey. So it was like 2 terrorist attacks by the Germans, really. Apparently.
It's we were talking about you refer to some people as delusional. If some of the responses I've heard and explanations or debunks I've heard are so not logical of the word, like I've this. Like, can you hear what you're saying? And like I said, that kind of appalls me more than what's actually going on is the amount that literally like can't comprehend this and see it.
You see that residue? That's residue from the flag with the stripe under it. I remember the flag being like that, and I've found a lot of veterans that actually remembered the flag being like this too. And I have a lot of flag residue that I've found, of the flag being like that, or people remember the flag being with the stripe under the stars. What do you think about that, the red stripe?
Yeah, that's anything. I haven't got any personal residue of like things I own, but like if I ever do or see someone I know have something, I'll probably buy it from. Like, it's a collector's item anymore. And plus, in the hopes of bringing, just showing them how, like we were talking about, it's literally obvious to and it's not to them, to the masses. It's not. Hey, brother, I'm going to get something to drink.
Okay. Alrighty. I don't know if I'm muted here. Let me see if I muted myself. Nope. Okay, we're good still. All right. Yeah. So lots of little residue there that I found, but that is a personal that is a little thing I'd have there. That ashtray I'm using it as now, a little tin can that has the red stripe. Yeah, that I showed y'all. All right. Anyway, let's check out. I think I already X'd off of it, but I had something else I was going to share with y'all, but right here. Okay. So I went over here to my favorite site, Internet Archive, TV News Archive, the Wayback Machine is also called too, or whatever. All right. So I put in Oscar Mayer. See here, Oscar Mayer. Oscar Mayer, Meyer, and I searched under TV news captions. You can search under text, all these other things, contents and archive websites and stuff. But anyway, so I looked under here, and there's so many articles and news things here that say Oscar Mayer spelled with the MER. And now normally when you click on these, they're going to have the spelling of MAR, but whoever wrote all these, transcripts or whatever, approved them, knew that Oscar Mayer was spelled Meyer. So all of these are Oscar Mayer, and talking about Oscar Mayer, wieners and whatnot, just about every single one of these are. I'm not saying every one. There's might be, there's a dude named Oscar Mayer too. But anyway, so what I did here, you can see here in this one, there's the transcripts. The undisputed champion of supermarket sold hot dogs has always been Oscar Mayer. This is RT News, a big news network, RT, Russian Today News. And they say Oscar Mayer several times. Here's Mayer over here. and even in this other one over here, whatever. But so these people knew how to spell it. Here, see down here, Oscar Myers hot dogs. So yeah, I'll show you that. I'll play that clip for you real quick.
America made the hot dog famous. Oscar Mayer gave it diggity.
In the U.S., the undisputed champion of supermarket-sold hot dogs has always been Oscar Mayer.
America's #1.
A brand of the Kraft Foods Group, a giant of the food industry. So far, no surprises. But what's less known is that at the time, and until 2007, Kraft was owned by Philip Morris, the world's second largest tobacco company. A lobby which went as far as lies and manipulation to defend its own interests, notably in the big tobacco lawsuits of the 1990s.
You believe nicotine is not addictive?
I believe nicotine is not addictive, yes.
I believe nicotine is not addictive.
Oh, but it is.
Questioning proven scientific facts. The strategy worked perfectly for years with tobacco. So, Philip Morris used it again to say...
Let's hear that.
To save Oscar Mayer's hot dogs. To understand how the multinational manipulated science to defend its investments in cured meats, we headed to Northern California, to San Francisco. This university library holds what are commonly known as the tobacco documents, millions of internal tobacco industry documents. Our guide, Stanton Glantz, has spent his life unraveling the cigarette maker's strategies. He particularly remembers one phrase used by a lobbyist in 1969.
Doubt is our product, since it is the best means of competing with the body of fact that exists in the mind.
Cigarettes. Ooh. All right, and this one here, again, see the transcripts. I wish I was an Oscar Mayer wiener, and they spelled it with M-E-Y-E-R. But you know,
we'll show you next.
Plus, no doubt.
You're expecting a flower girl, but how about?
Like I said,
so yeah, I just wanted to show them that real quick. So we're back. Hey. What do you say?
Like I was saying, with how they played it, getting it on using Google and search engines to find answers. Now, with these bats, it's coming in handy for them a lot, because that's what most people still do. Don't trust their own God-given memory whatsoever. But, you know, I've had people try to disprove the quantum effect to me by sending me current screenshots of BibleGateway.com. That's what I'm talking about with illogical responses and explanations. Yeah. Like, don't even comprehend how we think they're doing. No way.
So, how long have you been smoking cigarettes, brother?
Since I was about 22. I used to dip, which I still dip, mostly just if I'm working outside. But
wow,
yeah, about 22, and I'm so took a lot when I talk.
Well,
or like when I do these live streams or stuff like that, it's I don't know, it's a habit, you know.
Right.
I won't lie about it.
Well, I'll just pray about it because I care about your health, you know. So I'll pray that you know that you get some at least you know.
Anyone that
we all have our
me, y'all don't know how much I appreciate it. I always ask for
Yeah.
pray for, I pray for the channel and everyone that's came to the channel that's asked for prayer that hasn't, just to lift each other up in prayer. I was going to show you something.
Yeah. Well, I'm well known for
one of
sharing
my one of my viewers.
Go ahead.
One of my viewers. I've been having problems with my gallbladder, and she sent me these oil. She makes them herself, and one that said gallbladder detox on it. And I've used it over a month now, and I do think detoxed a lot of that stuff out of my gallbladder because there's been a noticeable difference. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
And she made some other ones for one for sleep to kind of calm you, one for muscle pain, headaches, all kinds of stuff. But that's I think that's cool. Viewers have said to me, and making jest me this. She didn't have to do that.
Right.
It really shows a Christ-like character, and that's why I try to encourage the fellowship within my channel. We're going to have to be there for one another because it seems like it's speeding up, and it's going toward a boiling point, and something. I always. My regular viewers are me saying it, but it's with this time of trouble like never before. It's something's going to happen to make the world in that situation. In Amos 8, it talks about bringing the world to its knees, and something's going to cause that. Speculated, I think the first 4 trumpets talked about in Revelation 8, I think that's what's going to cause it personally.
Right.
But no, these oils are really good.
A shout out to the crowd, the chat. Craig, Bolt Gun, Mad Pyman, Brenda Mitchell, everybody that's not chatting too, but Zillion, Sal, Brenda, of course. Tobin, if you're still here, Don, if you're still here, anybody else? But yeah, we still got double digits hanging in there with us. So let me tell you this, brother. It's 9:23, and I do want to talk about 9:23 also, 9:23:17 for a minute too. But my people know I medicate once an hour. I do medicate once an hour. And I usually do a bucket ball. Now I can do it over here off camera if you'd rather me not do it on camera. But
it doesn't bother me. It's
I don't do it to try and say, hey, everybody should get get stoned.
About it.
Go ahead.
I've talked about it. I'm not going to lie about it. It's I do smoke rather than take the anti-DA tries to put in these other pharmaceuticals. I do at times. It also helps with my stomach, to be honest. I've talked about the stomach problems I've got. It helps with it too, especially nausea. It does wonders for nausea. For real. But no, you ain't bothering me by the way.
Craig wants to know if I'm a stoner. There was a time where I probably was you could say I was a stoner, but I'm a medicator now. I definitely support medical weed. I don't support GMO. If I don't like that Monsanto and Bayer are trying to take over the weed industry, the medical weed industry.
You know why?
But yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, and you know why they're trying to take it over? To spray a bunch of garbage on it that makes it unnatural.
Yeah.
And pollute us more. They're probably going to spray. We talked about vaporized metals in the chemtrails. Yeah. Yeah, but I wouldn't. I don't do it enough to classify as a stone or no. I'm not going to lie about it. It helps me at times. It's hard to cope with a lot of the things going on in the world. What is that, like a water?
Have you ever done one of these bucket bongs? Yeah, have you ever done a bucket bong or
do they call it a gravity
bong? Yeah, but I don't like gravity anymore.
Yeah. When I was young, I went to WVU for a year. At the time, they were the number 3 party school in the whole. I'm familiar with that. When you said gravity,
listen, it's a very efficient way. It's a very efficient way to smoke, to medicate. I do one of these an hour. If I'm in a lot of pain, I might do 2 an hour, but that's rare. So I do 1 an hour, usually on the 20 after, but yeah, it's not a ritual thing. I mean, I don't have to do it on the 20 after every time, and I don't actually, but
right.
A lot of times I do. But anyway, I find it.
Talking about that's what I use. What Bulk
here we
Gun's talking about, that's one of the things, PTSD and things like that. It's like I say, if you're a veteran, I'm sure the VA tries to push antidepressants on everybody. Like as soon as I got out, released from acting in 2000, as soon as I went to the VA and they access you, over, what all you got going on, especially if you did a tour like I did, not to put you on antidepressants. I guarantee you, try to push them on everyone. And, my opinion, I would not go against getting on antidepressants. I've read some things like they've got a form of metal in them. Strongly recommend on antidepressants. And most doctors, if you notice, are trying to push them on everybody. Like in the last 5 years, the people I know that are on them, and it's like a common thing, like, oh yeah, I'm on Prozac, I'm on Paxil. It's like eight populace here, and antidepressants on them from 2013. Now think about that. It's funny. I started waking up in 2 days. I quit taking them. I had to taper off of them for a while. The doctor told me it could be, if you just quit them cold dead, it could cause suicidal tendencies. Put off of them. I started to wake up in, like I said, watching the news at night, just seeing the moral character and condition of the world. Started to, wake up. And I was talking to I was waking up, and then quantum effect is like putting waking up into fast forward. Like you see something like going
on. Shout out to Monica from Healthy Living and Other Things, was her other channel. But the MT Cali 70, that's Monica. She said she loved my kitty. Thank you. I showed Misty just a minute ago. But anyway, it seems like Mon Satan and Bear want to genetically modify marijuana to where someday people will start getting cancer from it or something, whatever,
Oh, okay.
Or say, oh yeah, man, that's a big old cat there.
Preston.
Yeah. Wow. But so so yeah, I was going to tell you that I was
on. Let me show you the other one.
Oh, wow.
Come here, Scrub.
Yeah. Wow.
Wait till you see
Nice,
this
nice,
monster.
Nice. Wow. Big.
Look at this monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, look
Wow.
at him, man. Look at his back leg. Look at them back feet. He is a monster, man. 25-pound cat.
And mine is tiny.
My baby cat, though, he'll tear him up in a fight. He don't want none.
Yeah. See, mine's tiny.
Black and white, when they call it a Sphinx breed, they got like short legs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I see her.
She's tiny. She's a mini cat.
Yeah, that Sphinx breed, short legs, short fur, and a triangle head, and that's what he's got. That's a beauty. Yeah, she's beautiful, man. That's a good looking cat.
Yeah, she looks kind. People think she's Siamese, but she's not Siamese. I've seen her parents.
I was kind of like short, few have anxiety, issues, stuff like that. A cat's usually a laid back, have to get onto. Cool.
Oh, you're
cut
out on us there for a second.
Gonna comment about using, smoke for PTSD. That is one of the things.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've been on Zoloft before, and Zoloft made me want to. I had suicidal tendencies on it, I said no more to any of that after that. Now I'm just strictly green. I don't take anything, not even aspirin, ibuprofen. I don't take anything over the counter at all. I don't take any pharmaceuticals. You there? Did we lose you? Huh? You back? Yeah, we still can't hear you. Crap. Are you back? Yeah, we're losing you. Yeah, try to come back in or something, because we definitely were losing you. Well, bear with us, folks. Hopefully he'll join us again. All right, I think he's coming back right here. It should be. It says device is not connected, but here we go. Are you back with us, brother? Hello. Hello. I can't hear you. Okay, what?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I hear you. There's been a little delay all along, but I think we were still having more problems than just a little delay. But I think you're back.
Okay. Okay, yeah, delay, that would explain. Live with that. I'm only gonna stay on to about 11 anyway. I lay down kind of early, but
yeah, I got you.
There anything else big lately, like you think we should bring up, or
well,
just just like something you've noticed, or
Right. Gotcha. It just seems like right now things are calm, but it may be the calm before the storm. I think that the Mandela effect is going to be a household name by the end of this year. But if they continue to paint us as crazy and dangerous and violent, then that's not going to be good. So we have to keep pushing back, and we have to, keep showing the people that come looking for answers that we're not violent and crazy and dangerous, and that we're just, trying to get to the bottom of this thing, and we're just preparing for the worst and hoping for the best, and and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's and like we talked when I first came on, how the level of the movie, the vast incline, specifically trolling channels that discuss the quantum effect, and then the Criminal Minds episode especially portrayed the character. Now that's what they're trying to make people think, and that's on mainstream primetime television. That's you're seeing it. That's literally the level.
Hey, brother, try just going without the
You
cam
still there,
and
bro?
see if we can get you better. Can you try that? Try going without the cam for a minute and see if we can at least get your voice better. Yeah, you can add a picture,
I do,
of course, and but let's see if that works a little better. So that's what I did on my side, just to try and improve the stream.
Okay, can you?
I can right this moment. Yeah, it's awesome.
Now?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, cool deal.
Plenty.
All right.
Yep,
that'll work. People don't need to look at.
But you can put your face on there. You can put any picture you want. I've got my old motorcycle right now.
That's what I'll do that when I get time to go through pics and stuff. I'll throw.
Yeah, it's real easy.
Go like that for now.
I'll show you how quick it is. See, I just changed mine. Boom, there I am. I got my.
Let me see what I do. Quick on the. Let's see here.
Yeah, click on the little. It'll show.
Oh, here we go. It's over here to the side.
Yeah.
I'm on the computer though. I don't have any pics uploaded to the computer.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah,
all right. Yeah. Okay. So I'll have to do that tomorrow or later tonight.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. I'm on that. See, I've been using the phone for everything, and there's a subscriber to my channel, Larryology. Yeah, that's the name of his channel, Larryology.
Right.
He bought me a laptop to I thought that was awesome. I told him I didn't expect, don't feel like he's obligated or nothing, but he said he felt the Lord, directing him to do it. And I think I've felt God talk to me too. When I say it, I haven't heard voices or seen something appear, but like you can feel it inside your spirit. And it ain't my place to question that. I just wanted it made clear. I don't expect things like that. Think anyone to think they're obligated to do anything. Just what I say, that's more than enough. But I'm starting to. I hadn't even used the computer since 2007. That's the year I got out. I haven't really used the computer, and it's changed some. And I'm trying to learn it, but thank God I did get StreamYard figured out. So now I can, at least do some live streams. And I will be doing one in the morning. Between, well, I'm going to try to say I'm going to do it at 10:15. So,
awesome.
Anyone's available. Everyone's welcome.
I'll get you, brother. I'll definitely.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Yeah, that'd be great. I'm going to try to get in there a little early where I can make moderators, and I'll give you a wrench, definitely.
Yeah,
and
I look forward.
A couple others I wanted to.
I look forward to your talks, your wisdom, man, your testimony, definitely, always.
Well, thank you. It's all of, I always give the glory to God because, if y'all would have known me 5 years ago, even, you know, it's proof of, you know, discernment and following, you know, the voice of God, the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of God. Some of these things people have said, you know, like, I have a good understanding. It's not from like years of studying or anything like that. It's by listening to what the voice of the Lord, you know, directs you toward. And I'm humbled that God would use the way I've lived most of my life. I'm humbled that He'd even use a person like me. But it just goes back to, we're not saved by our glory or anything we do. We're saved by His glory, by His grace.
Amen.
And that's proof of it right there.
Indeed. Yeah, we are blessed. We're blessed to see through the lies and deception and the upcoming beast system and all that, you know. It's just,
no doubt.
It's great to be able to, you know, see what's coming and be able to, you know, prepare for it. There'll be no excuse for us, you know, Judgment Day, because we know that what we're supposed to be, you know, doing and preparing for.
Yeah. And, you know, Tommy, when it gets to, I mean, everyone's judgment, no one's going to have an excuse. All darkness has been brought into the light. You know, that's in Scripture, that, you know, all darkness would be brought into the light. We're seeing it, but it's, you know, some things people just don't want to see. Some things I think they literally can't. You know, we touched a little on that, you know, talking about the strong delusion discussed in Scripture. You know, it certainly seems that way just because, like we were talking, it's beyond obvious to us. It's like 1 + 1. And they, you know, I've seen it in person. Some, they literally cannot see it. They literally can't. It's crazy. It's one of the damnedest things I've ever seen. But it's insane.
Yep. So, how long you been on YouTube?
July will make a year.
Oh wow! I mean, had you used YouTube before that on your phone or something? And you just decided?
Not really. I'd like look up a you know, like a song and stuff here and there, but no. You know, I talked about that's, you know, for about a week or two. I thought I may be dead when I first noticed the quantum effect. Hell, no one else saw it, well, and I didn't know there was a community or nothing. That's why I try to, you know, I've tried to explain that on me. I've been brainwashed by disinformation or something. I've seen this before I realized there was a group, you know, in the world that saw it. And it was rough being for so long, because some that, like, you know, we see now, we think they may have never even seen this, was just like a poser. I take offense to that because of what I went through with it, thinking I'm dead and crazy stuff like that. Just pretend with it. I ain't gonna lie, it makes me mad. Gets me a little heat. Because it's, I mean, it's serious. And, you know, one of the things that makes it so serious is the masses not seeing it. Like, they're going to fall for anything. You know, that's one of the concerning parts about
it. Can you read that there? That comment?
Old Tommy. Let's see. Old Tommy, I followed JK for 2 years off and on, till I found the passage that blows his theory out the door.
Yeah, I wonder what she's talking about.
JK, I think she's talking about Jonathan Kleck. He's about a month when I first started watching YouTube, and what he does, he's like teaching people Kabbalah and like masking it behind the gospel of Christ.
Right.
Yeah, he literally makes idols, and he literally makes idols left and right, and like they even had like a big ceremony for one of them.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think I've heard of it,
Yeah.
but I know that.
I think that's what she's referring.
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, Zilren, is that who you were talking about? Oh, Kleck there in your comments.
Yeah, please comment. Let us know. So what do you think about do you think that like I said, this place sooner or later is not going to be a friend to anybody that's a believer or a follower in Christ,
right?
Because of the Noahide laws and the Sharia laws and the LGBTQ, atheists, all that kind of stuff. They're
all they're forming against us on all fronts. You just named a few there. Another to throw in is the quantum effect. They're coming against us. Like I said, putting it on mainstream, primetime TV. That was a big move. It shows to me that they're kind of concerned, but they are trying to silence us, make us look crazy. But also it's like they're building an affront to get violent when, like you said, the Noahide laws and all this come into effect. Because we were talking about the altered scripture, how they, we think they're literally going to use that to try to justify the false Messiah.
Mm-hmm.
So by us saying it's quantum effect changed, that, Christ didn't tell us to slaughter people and things like that,
right?
They're going to get, never before. Yeah, she's talking about Jonathan Kleck. I thought so, and Craig, he's a shit exact view on it. I think he fully knows what he's. Yeah, that was well worded. That's what I'd refer to him as too.
Yeah. Have you? There's a.
Show me Sasquatch.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna Sasquatch. If you can get in my live stream tomorrow, I'll tell you that way we can get some on. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh yeah, well here. Yeah, no, I'll give him one in here too. I've seen him I've seen him before. Yeah. Hang on one second here. But yeah, I think that people are, the delusion is growing stronger, and it's either a self delusion and God like putting it on them, or a combination or both or whatever. But it is growing stronger, and people, you can tell real quick who's interested in the truth and who can see, truly see the changes and whatnot. But the Bible pastors, man, all these pastors, they're not all of them, will hide and say, oh, I can't admit I see them. I have been led to a couple that have admitted to me they see the changes and they're, they know something's going on. So yeah, it's an amazing time to be alive, and I think we were all chosen to be witnesses of this time. And like I was trying to say before, in 2028, Israel will be a nation for 80 years. And if I'm not mistaken, that's what it hinted to in the Bible, was that if they were blessed or good or strong, they would be a nation for 80 years. So, I mean, there's only 7.5 years of that left, basically till 2028,
Yep. That's right. It's, people, and like I say, no man knows the day or hour, only but we can,
of course, I'm not
see what's going on.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
But yeah,
exactly.
We've seen how, bad it's getting, and I don't, you'll never hear me set dates or anything like that. But I mean, literally, if this time of trouble started tomorrow morning, I would not be surprised by
it. Yeah. I'm not trying to set a date, brother, at all. I'm just saying I know the season is here. We're certainly like the days of Lot and Noah, Sodom and Gomorrah, all that, stuff. Mhm.
Right,
Yep,
no
yep,
doubt.
yep. But yeah, we've had a decent decent crowd in here tonight. I know that. Some good people.
What'd we get up to?
A little
how
over
many did we
20
get up
something,
to?
25 or something. I don't know. Somewhere
Cool.
around there.
Yeah, that's
they'll
what.
automatically be.
Yeah,
they'll
on my
automatically be
stream, I
over
was
100
up
views.
to. Yeah, when the stream I did earlier, I got up to 20 point. I was impressed people would come, so that's great. You know,
Yeah,
and great they
I'll
came
definitely
here. You know, I think we discussed some.
I'll send some more people your way. Sorry, we're still having the delay, but it's okay. We'll work around it.
That's cool.
So what?
That's
so what's your?
Thank you.
Go ahead. we both go talk at the same time. It's funny. Oh man. It's so good to be around so many people that care about the truth, that seek the truth, spread the truth. You know, we're none of us are perfect, and we all have our little things. You know, I think most of us probably, you know, do repent, and I hope so. You know, I do like to say repent, prepare, watch, and witness until the end. You know, a lot, but you know, I think that. You know, the more you embrace the truth and God in you, and you know, and everything, and you, the more you try to be like Christ, you know, or whatever, you know, his example of being, you know, you know, his being Christ-like, you know what I'm talking about, just his ways of, you know, of treating people good, and not being absorbed in religion. You know, he didn't like the big church thing. You know, it's amazing what the church has turned into, and I do believe we're at the end of the church age too. Do you think we're at the end of the church age? We're at the falling away.
Absolutely, and I think that. Yeah, I think the falling away is in full effect, and I think that, as you said, the end of the church age has started. The falling away is in full effect. You see how you've got people aren't acknowledging the quantum effect. People just different gospels. Some of the things I've heard in the 11 years are absolutely compared to what the gospel says. It's here. I mean, it's coming fast. Like I was saying, in the last 7 years alone, I've seen this escalate. That's why I say if it started tomorrow, this time of trouble, like never before, it wouldn't surprise me, because the world's out of control. There's no doubt about that.
Indeed. It's upside down, and you know, sorry for the ass, but it's ass backwards, and you know, just crazy, just, you know. And but we're the crazy ones because we see it, you know.
Yeah, that's you know, Isaiah 5:20 talks about, you know, a time would come that they would call evil good and good evil. Well, look around. You see, you know, people applauding abortion. You know, I've talked about, you know, people have brought up, you know, America's facing a severe judgment. When you look all back through Scripture, three common things that, you know, God destroyed nations over. Look at saying the satanic prayers in public, and statues up of Baphomet, idolatry. We know what the Statue of Liberty represents now. Idolatry from one end of the country to the other. LGBTQ or what? Look at sodomy. That's one thing that, you know, God makes clear. He calls it an abomination. I mean, that's what it says. And the other thing is the slaughter which would be children. Baal, Moloch sacrifice, that was a thing God brought judgment for. Well, the Baphomet, Baal, same thing. And some of these like Illuminati or elite circles, I think that they probably literally sacrifice children on us. It would not surprise me. They probably literally do that.
Yeah.
Abortion is, and judgment is coming to America. You better believe that. Like, no pre-trib rapture. Like, I hear they think like Americans are the only people that would be included in the rapture. The pride on some people, man. It's like,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I'm worried that when a lot see there's not a pre-trib, that it's going to destroy the faith of many, and probably the falling away at boiling point, this is going to shoot it out of the pot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. No doubt about it. Yeah, I think I gave your buddy a wrench there in my chat there. There you go. I'm pretty sure he knows. So yeah, Matt says Babylon's falling. Do you think that America's the mystery Babylon?
Well, I talked about this on my stream. Now, this is my thoughts, and I think that there's a mystery Babylon, which Revelation 17 describes as that great city that reigned the earth. In 50 and 51, that kind of sounds more like talking about a nation. And I get what I've suggested really since I know is there's like a Babylon, like a nation, and then there's a mystery Babylon, which is a city. And we talked about how they were going, it says that they would try to fulfill the vision but would fall, and trying to make it appear that all the prophecies had been fulfilled. They could use New York for that, or maybe New York is I think possibly what's been talked about in 17 and then in 18 could be like there could be a mystery Babylon and then a Babylon that would be more along the lines of like an entire nation as opposed to a city. But either also America and New York is mystery Babylon, or what they destroy to try to make it appear the prophecies have been fulfilled. I do think it's one or the other.
I might have a huge personal Mandela effect, because I remember there being a huge U.S. base built in Babylon, Iraq. I remember I remember it being reported on that they built a huge, and if not them, then the UN or somebody has a huge base, but now there's no record of it anywhere. But I mean, I know for a fact I've told people this in the chat, and until recently when I went and looked for it, but there was the biggest. It was supposed to be the biggest base ever built. Period. Okay, so I don't know what's going on with that. So
hey, city that is on what Revelation 17, because it does describe it as a city. It says that woman thou saw is that great city that reigns over the kings of the earth. It says they're arrayed in scarlet and purple and have a golden cup in their hand, like what the popes hold holy grail. It's not.
Well, the Pope
and you look at their attire. I would have to agree with that. I think he's the literal false prophet spoke of in Revelation 13 and 19.
Go ahead.
I agree with that. And two, you look 17. It says that it distinctly calls it a city and says that it sets on 7 mountains. Vatican City sets on 7 mountains. The scarlet and purple, that kind of leans me toward that. Like I said, it's possible that, there's what's been talked about in chapter 17 and then 18 aren't the same. But now the nation when talked about in Jeremiah, several people have did some good informative videos. Awaken or Airborne Saint, he's got one up that's really good about that. Gets into like Zechariah prophecies. I've did some videos on Zephaniah's only 3 chapters. I did a video on the whole book a while back. It talks about their blood being poured out as dust. And, that's some heat that would cause that. And, but yeah, it's, I think it's either it literally is that or it's going to be what they portray it to have been to try to make it seem that the prophecies have been fulfilled.
Right. Yep. Very interesting. Very interesting. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Good topics. So, do you also see the Mandela effect changes expanding in the near future, and the Bible changes continuing, to happen?
Yeah, I think it will all continue and get faster, but get more blatant and obvious to us anyway.
Yeah.
It's really hard to tell what they'll try now.
Yeah. Exactly. Do you see also that the Jews Noahide laws and their Messiah becoming the Antichrist, all that fitting in, as the beast system and everything?
Yeah, and it's interesting, Tommy. There in Revelation 17, it's about the beast that ascends up. It's about 7 kings. Now, I've did videos on this, the ways that chapter 17 is describing. That's suggesting that that the beast will rise out of that, out of the harlot. And, we're told there's 3 character trinity. There's the dragon, the beast, and the false prophet. And I'm starting to lean toward the beast figure is going to rise out of, out of the Vatican, out of Mystery Babylon, and leave him out. That's literally inhabited by a dragon. He, I think, is coming out of what you're talking about. And because the dragon gave him his seat, his position, and authority, a lot have interpreted that Satan dwells the beasts, the Antichrist. In chapter 16, John tells you he distinctly sees 3 unclean spirits of the dragon, the beast, the fire. Out of each one, there are 3 distinct individuals. Dragon, that is inhabited by Satan. The beast, it would suggest, like in chapter 9, Abaddon or Apollyon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And CERN happens to be over the top of where?
See how to put that together? The Apollyon was the original over there.
Yeah.
So they're ground because we couldn't see them building some of this stuff.
So we all, I believe we all come from God's source. Do you think that, and the Bible mentions sorcery, do you think that man and Satan together are trying to use sorcery to change times and laws?
Yeah, I think it's some things like our heart being moved and our kidney. God could certainly do it. There's no doubt about it. And I used to not think it in the beginning, but now I'm thinking like some of it caused by God Almighty, the Most High. But Satan is using this technology to, like the scripture changes. I just can't keep doing that because it's causing confusion, and we're told God's not the author of confusion. I just don't see that don't make sense to me. But like moving like our whole protective measure against chemtrails or God did. So it's something with I talk a lot about airwaves and frequencies and even signals now. That's kind of toward with how all these people will change time period around the same time. It's that suggests that there's like a signal resonance, or something been sent out that's human resonance. And I'm not going to really do much, so I won't really elaborate on. There's a couple videos I'd put in my projects folder where I scheduled to research. I'm not really comfortable, not knowledgeable enough on it to anything.
I got you. Well, but there is something to the frequency thing, certainly, and they know how to manipulate and they try to manipulate there and use it as a weapon. I mean, they've been using 440 hertz for music, which is not as healthy as 432 on purpose. I mean, they do anything they can to harm us, whether other than to help us. And they want to keep us sick too, and on their medicines. So yeah, we're in a battle. Not just spiritually, but on every front they can. I mean, you got the chemtrails, you got the all the toxins in the food and water. You have all the toxins in the medicine they try to get us on. It's just what they want us dead, or they want us sick and just compliant to them, and it's to get us ready for the beast system and to take the mark of the beast. I mean, everything they put out, it seems like that's it's all leading to one world government, one world religion, one world currency, everything one, serve the one beast.
It's a lot about it's you know what I mean. It's like I say, they're pushing these balls, and they can exactly how they want to right now, but this of trouble like never before. That will put them in a position to start to kick it off. It really will.
Yeah, and it's like they're trying to bring about that event that's going to trigger it all. They want it to come. It's like they're ready or whatever because they hate us so much. They hate the truth so much, so they hate us, and for loving it and seeking it and spreading it. But they've been attacking us for a long while, but now it's like they're ready to put their pressure down on their boot on our throat, and take our guns and take our freedom of speech and take our health, our mental health, I mean, so yeah, I mean, not to be doom and gloom and say, that there's not a good ending, but they are certainly, after us, and it will only increase when the beast system is in play fully, in place and in play fully. China is a good example of how the beast system will be run, and so is India, I think too. It's getting crazy, man.
Hey, I talked about that in China. We know they shut down flights, but I've suggested this quarantine may not be for any type of disease, but maybe them getting the, martial law and system in place. Like China's big
Yeah.
for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It absolutely
Yep.
would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bolt Gun says Twin Towers to One World. You have you ever heard of Rabbi?
Hey, that's what I was
Khan?
going to bring up.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, anyway, since you didn't go ahead and go. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. No, what he said was, and then they made the One World Freedom Tower. If Obama signed it, he did the W's first. 6, 6, va, 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 6, 6, 6. Mostly done, and making the two into one, and it's upon had a comment a while back suggesting that like the tribulation's still like at least 100. When you look at what's going on in the world, I'm logical. 100 years.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly, brother. Anyway, there was a rabbi. Not that I, follow him or anything, but there was a rabbi that broke down the whole ritual side of 9/11, and then the rebuilding of World Trade, the one, whatever, building one, trade one, whatever the heck it's called. But even, it's unreal. Like they were fulfilling prophecy, the way he breaks it down, just like everything they did, and the Pope coming over here and all this stuff, and what he said. And there's a lot of signs that people have missed, to pointing to, this beast system coming.
Yeah, without a doubt. The writing's on the wall. I don't see how people can deny it, especially, people, claiming to, have just like, they're holy, to hear them talk, and like they're not seeing not seeing the big, some of the things going on. Like they say, like stop like stuff. I don't know, man. And it's just discernment. Somebody just commented. It's one of my subs. They've heard me say it a lot. I pray for it every day for discernment. It's needed in this age of deception, and a lot of the world don't have it. We were talking about some of these just ridiculous answers that they try to give us, and discernment in our world in general.
Yeah, sorry, I was just having fun there. But anyway, yeah. What do you think about this comment right here with Bush and the kids chanting this?
Oh yeah. Hey man, that was deliberate. It's and two, it even I know you're familiar with the I Pet Goat 2 video. He reveals a lot at some point. I'm going to try to do my own breakdown of it. But yeah, the plane strikes steel, and then right as they're saying that, plane striking steel,
Yeah, come on,
or
man.
somewhere plane didn't hit it, or I don't think. I think that's been proven that a plane didn't actually. They, it was been portrayed to the world that the plane.
Yeah.
I talk about that a lot too. With the time of Vatican, that called the Resurrection. It says it portrays rising out of a nuclear crater from a bomb. Well, the iPet portrays him rising out of a mushroom cloud. They're showing us that's what's going to start this time of trouble, and that's what he's going to rise out of and come onto the world scene, like people saying this person's the Antichrist. Or I don't accept. I think that none of us have ever seen in our life, and he won't appear with horns and a tail. Extremely impressive. And
what do you think about Moses having horns now?
That's ridiculous. And also, he's carrying tables instead of tablets down the hill now. Carrying tables. Okay. Oh, there's low. Glad he's here. But
oh, okay.
The horns, and now see like it appears on statues now. Yeah. Some of these statues, and see, it's like it's altering multiple things. To if you take it in Daniel 7:25, the way myself and several others do, says the dividing of time. Okay, divide a fourth. It means and no, it says the dividing of time, not a divide. Like to suggest half a year. I never accepted a year. Now in Revelation, where it says half, it's completely worded different, and the content of that verse is saying. But the time, I think that's possibly like a biblical definition of the fact, because it does appear that there's some rhyme with it. They're possibly going forward in a theory on how I think maybe the islands have been moved.
Maybe a little bit, but yeah, go ahead if you want to talk about it. Definitely. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. And like I said at first, I wouldn't even hear of the possible time travel. And I even still, I don't. It may not be like someone getting in a machine and going. It's I don't know. I mean, obviously, I don't know how it's the quantum effect, how they're doing it, period. But, we're told they're at the breaking of the sixth, so the seventh vial, but the sixth seal, we're like Christ's foot will set down, the mountain, this earthquake, and that all the mountains and islands would be moved out of place. And I'm one, anyone that's watched me knows I firmly believe that the seven seals, trumpets, and eventually in time, because if you look at the description of the sixth seal, seventh trumpet, and 7th Vial, I mean, it's, I think the same event, but about these islands been moved. If they were able to go forward and backward into time, if they went forward, eventually they're going to come to a point. 6 seals broke, footlands touches the mountains and islands are moved, and they've had, but like I said, I can't promise right. Obviously, I mean, I could be, just in what that's why I like the fellowship with you or anyone. We can share ideas and may figure some things out. I've did about 5 or more videos based on my viewers' information about things to look into. Some of them, her channel names, she basically did. I had to talk about it for one she did, and it was dealing with the Pope and the Dagon. Those miters they wear are the same thing wore to honor the fish. It's the exact same, identical. And see, that's a mystery, Babylon. This it's called the bride, the body of Christ, the true church. So that would suggest that the whore, the harlot, is a counterfeit, of Christ. The one more, that's what the basically time they've taken the Babylon, going all the way back to Nimrod and Lucifer, the religion of Babylon, and mask it, Christian Christ. Even when you get, Hindu and some of these, notice they all have this divine worship. And now we can relate all these that like their kind of story. Well, RCC took it to the extreme. They instead of changing names to like Zeus and Apollo, they changed Jesus. Like they took it to the extreme and have been hiding it. They're masking it behind that world for a long time. And it out of Christ and Revelations, the true, church, the harlot would be the false one. That's something to take in, into consideration with, chapter 17. This too in chapter 17, the Civ history Babel thing just
right.
But
Exactly.
But yeah, that's I've been
Go ahead. I was just agreeing.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Let's see. Let me go through the comments here, see if anyone's brought anything up.
Yeah, definitely, brother.
Larry put, teaching is great, but the love of Jesus is what draws. Amen. That's what Craig said, trust. And, that's one reason I think God's allowed the quantum effect to affect Scripture is a lot of people weren't reading it anyway. And since I've got into YouTube, I see the majority of the church just has like their own interpretation rather than what it says. Unfortunately, a lot of the world's in that mindset, and but no, and it's, I think, to a point too that the Lord wants to purify the worship of Him, where you're not, you know Him, you have a relationship, you know what He stands for, you know what the Lord's about. That's why, some of these alterations now are going against what, the Lord stands for. And people aren't seeing it. That's why I don't think they're going to wake up regardless of what changes. I've even, I commented on one pastor, what he'd said, and I was like, you really just don't care what it changes to, do you? It don't matter. It can't change. You don't care what it says. That's how I, well, I mean, it is what it is. That's how they're acting, so that's what I'm calling it.
So what do you think about the war in heaven? Do you think now I think you agree with me that Revelation is was a vision of the future time. So it's
absolutely.
It's the only book in the Bible that like the whole book is basically what's going to come to pass. All right. So, but what I'm saying is, what do you think about the war in heaven in Revelation 12? See, I'm one that I've been a sky watcher a long time and a sign watcher a long time. I think that the Revelation 12, 1 and 2 verse 1 and 2 came about on 9/23/2017. Right about that time, the alignment there that it talks about the woman clothed in the sun with the moon on her feet. Okay,
hey,
by my calculations, February 23rd next year will be 3.5 years from that sign. Right. But I'm not setting any date or anything like saying that's going to be a bad. I'm just saying we're getting farther and farther away from that sign. But something tells me not to forget it because it really happened, and that there's the rest of Revelation 12 that has to play out, which is the red dragon and the war in heaven and the fallen angels falling, and then of course 13 is the whole beast system chapter. The mark of the beast and the Antichrist. Go ahead.
Well, see, I mean, I don't think Revelation goes in order. Like from chapter 6 on, I talk about the seals, trumpets, and vials running together, and that would even fit in with what you're talking about with the war in heaven. Now, I want to bring something up. On October, I think there's a connection to the quantum effect, and July 4th, 2012, they said they discovered the Higgs boson particle. Only God knows what really happened that day. A signal could have been sent out that day that started this, or something. But on October 16th, 2012, I thought that's when the first part of the Revelation sign happened. And I can even remember people talking about it. John 3:16 Ministry did a video discussing it briefly. Well, on the December 10th YouTube purge, that was like the only video of his they took down. And, then you got the September 23rd you're talking about. And what you're saying with the time frame, it does, it talks about Daniel in the middle of the week, he would break the covenant, Well, they've been building towards, this stuff in, Israel, and the temple and all.
Yeah.
And, it could be, I thought maybe the 2012 one was the first 2 verses. Maybe the third and fourth is the dragon, or let's go off. Let's say this started, like you say, on September 20. There is something to the date, September 23rd. If you see some of the work people are doing where they have foreshadowed it in movies forever, like 923 references. There's something to it. I don't know if that's when the Antichrist spirit broke through into this, into our world. Something's up.
Yeah, what I'm saying is the alignment was there, brother. The alignment was definitely there and happened,
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. I thought it happened in October of 2012, though.
Well, it could be a Mandela effect. Then it could be, a hidden.
I thought that because some people act like they've never heard of it when I bring it up, and I can remember it's been talked about.
Yeah. Well, now I remember when I was doing. Go ahead. I remember when I was doing my research into 923 that there were times before people tried to claim that the sign had happened. But as far as looking at when that exact lineup happened, it's never happened before like it happened on 923, and it's not going to happen again for that as far as they can see forward too, when they, with the
Right.
software they have. So, I mean, it definitely, I think, was came into, that it was fully there. Now there might have been something similar in 2012, and there is something to 2012 too, brother.
Okay.
Definitely is, I mean, things changed then too,
I
but
agree.
even the year 2000,
Absolutely.
even the year 2000 is suspect to me too. So I don't know.
But no, what you're talking about, which would at least cover verses 1 and 2 on September 23rd. Well, you see next, it talks about this red dragon, and then the war in heaven, and I kind of think something we can literally see happening.
Yes, and it's gonna look like a UFO war to us. I keep getting that
Right.
said to me, and I see that they'll look like it could be UFOs, but it's really the war in heaven going on. The angels,
Right.
Michael standing up against Satan and the 30, the third of the angels or whatever, and see when they fall. That's gonna look like maybe they're coming to invade us, and they're gonna say, "Look, it's UFOs, and then and even then, at some point, if there is a rapture after, before, whatever, they'll say, "Well, all these people are taken away by aliens, they weren't meant to be here or whatever."
Yeah, hey, and Tommy, I've did a whole video on this. If anybody wants to watch it, it's called something with alien invasion. But the picture is of that xenomorph from the Alien franchise. It's the only video with anything like that, so it's easy to find. But I reference it with the fifth trumpet. When you look at the description given of these locusts that come out of the bottomless pit. When they open that, I think that it will be portrayed by world leaders. Well, the Antichrist will be here, and the media, especially, that we have been invaded by aliens, because they're not going to admit, that they opened hell, or that this is one of the trumpet judgments, God's allowed. They're going to spin some type of story, and by the description, I think that's what they're going to say, that like there could be an alien invasion before that, like what me and you're talking about with the war in heaven, and this is like a rogue species or something that's came here. Mm-hmm. It's hard to tell. I mean, it's, there's things I consider now that 10 years ago I would have thought I was out of my mind. But now, it's you've got to really take some of these things into consideration. That's for sure.
Yep. No doubt about it, brother. I definitely think they're waiting to pull that card, the alien invasion card, and all and body.
Well, we know.
Mm-hmm. But we have why hasn't it happened yet? Is because they're waiting for the rest of this, to play out. They can use it to their advantage.
Well, and remember too, he can't go until God allows it, and that's what I think the trumpet judgments are. It's God removing His protection and allowing Satan to bring the world to its knees in a day, according to Amos 8.
Yeah,
it talks about
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's gonna go after the saints for a short period.
42 months.
Exactly.
When people talk about time speeding up, they're saying that it means no. When God says 42 months, that's a distinct time period that He clearly lists. It will be 1,260 days, just like it's written, 42 months. And, I know you've heard it, some of the channels, me and you're both on, with, time speeding up.
Yeah.
You can test it yourself.
Exactly.
And you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Time is. I like to say time is speeding up. And or it's hold on. It's coming to an end and it's speeding up. I mean, it's like
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. So Revelation 13 or Revelation 12. So you have the war in heaven. It says, verse 7, and there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought with his angels and prevailed not. Neither was there a place found any more in heaven. So that means they were kicked out and sent down to here. And that hasn't happened yet, but it could be happening now, or big fixing to happen, But people don't understand that. They think all this has already happened, most people that read the Bible.
Right. Yeah, and well, I know you've heard me. I mean, I stand firm on it. The party gets started in Revelation chapter 6, and I'm a firm believer that none of it's happened. That it's, and see, by this symbolic philosophical view that unfortunately I'm surprised a lot of the world takes, that is one way they're going to make it seem that these prophecies have been fulfilled. They're going to use this symbolic view to act like it meant this, when if you're paying attention, like hell and fire mingled with blood, pillars of blood, smoke, and fire, you're going to see how literal that is. Mm-hmm. But we know that a third of man isn't even going to get to see it. A third of man's going to be taken from this earth very quickly to start this. In the book of Ezekiel, it talks about they would bury their dead for 7 months.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that's, it's like I said, the world will be in Amos 8. It's a short chapter. I'd recommend everyone read it. When it talks about, that the Lord would cause the sun to go down at noon.
Uh-huh.
And I relate that's talking about the fourth trumpet, that the first 3 trumpets are going to bring the world to its knees. The hell and fire mingled with blood. That's the war. This great mountain burning with fire impacting the sea. They're going to portray it, the media are probably, that it's an asteroid, but it's something John saw that he described as a great mountain burning with fire. And then this one channel, We Wrestle Not with Flesh and Blood, she did a video where she goes into the book of Jeremiah, where it's talking about wormwood and sending into them cockatrice or sir. She provides a lot of evidence that the wormwood star, like the third trumpet, could be God allowing the fallen to come through, or where it says the star falls, that could be the war in heaven when they get cast down. Now you take that war happening, this great mountain burning with fire, and then them coming onto the earth, and the fourth trumpet just been the sun, the sky's all jacked up, the sun's not shining for a third of the day. That would cause a time of trouble like never before. That would bring the world to its knees in 24 hours. Probably in an hour. Because, it talks about Babylon, so, destroyed in 1 hour.
Right.
Yeah.
What I want proof. I'm tired of the stories or the lies. I'm a flat earther and I'm not spinning 1,000 miles per hour. Well, I don't think we're on a spinning ball neither, Craig. I'm a flat earther.
Yeah, I agree with the biblical description, in a literal sense. That's what I say, man. I bring up in Colossians 2:8, it says not to get into philosophy. Well, taking this, a lot of people interpret scripture like philosophically, like a fable's interpreted. And then in 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 20, it says, no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation. So that's saying what it says is what it means. I don't see any other way to take it. And, a lot aren't, just like, I know you've heard it before, saying the mark of the beast is Sunday worship. How does that govern if the world can buy something?
Right.
that's not going to govern buying and selling whatsoever. They're not, and they base a lot of how they get that out of the book of Daniel, when Daniel 12:4 tells you that until the time of the end, that the prophecy was sealed by God Almighty, and that until the time of the end it was sealed, that it wouldn't even be comprehensible to anyone. A lot of what they base that Sunday law thing off of is like 2.5, 3 century-year-old interpretations about what the mark is. So Daniel 12:4 that's telling you clearly it's not right.
All right.
Like the dividing of time, the mixing of the miry clay and iron. Even 20 years ago, I wouldn't think it means what I know it means now. And that in 12:4, it tells you that until the times I think we're clearly in, this prophecy was sealed, that it was not, no human being would be able to comprehend what it meant.
Right.
Well, now we're starting to see it. So that's a sign of the times, the fact that it's been unsealed. I'm not going to say it's like fully unsealed, but he's, what's meant. Really, the mixing of the miry clay and iron. We talked about these chemtrails with vaporized metals in them. These chips, emitting and receiving radio waves, like literally putting an antenna inside your body.
Yep, exactly, brother. Yep,
And,
no doubt.
Hey, here's one, Tommy. I've seen a lot with this, in Revelation 13 when it talks about the second beast. Well, look, I always say the second beast, that's the false prophet, because look what it says in Revelation 19:20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles, which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast and them that worshipped his image, alive into a lake of fire burning. The description of the false prophet in that verse is identical to chapter 13, verses 11 through 18. And, I've heard, I don't know, I've heard all kinds of stuff of what or who the second beast is. Well, the description of it's identical to what, the false prophet.
Right.
It talks about he's going to call down fire from the sky. He's going to, be a big supporter and deceiver of the son of perdition, like his right hand man kind of. And then you've got, what we were tagging the dragon figure out of the unholy trinity, I think is going to come from, Jerusalem or Israel. A beast where it's referring it, it seems like it would be with the Vatican. They're going to rise out of that. And guess what? He's got his father right beside him already, which would be Pope Francis.
Yep, that's it. Yep.
Yeah. Have you seen some of the stuff I did with, I talk about these 7 kings and how they have John Paul II's tomb out now, like on public display, 24-hour live video feed.
I'm sorry, say that again. Have I seen what?
The work I did in Revelation 17, it talks about these 7 kings. Okay. In 1929, with the Lateran Treaty, kingship once again. They're literally the king of Rome or Vatican City. Started in 1929. It talks about these 7. It says one would continue a short space. That fits with Pope Benedict resigning. Well, people that say like Pope Francis is the Antichrist, he's not of the 7 kings mentioned. Like, it's like he hasn't really taken the seat of the Pope. Like, they say he don't like even live in the Pope's quarters, like it's, something's up with that. And but he wouldn't be of the 7 anyway, so it couldn't be him. But what me and you're talking about, the false, he's already right there beside beside him, but it talks of these 7. One will ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. They, out of those 7 from 1929 to the present, John Paul II was like the most beloved of all those popes like ever. And, it's just weird. He's the only, and they pray over it every, it's either every morning or every night, just over his casket. The rest are still in tombs. They don't pray over them or nothing like that. And, it would suggest waiting, and, it would marvel and wonder after the if
Yep.
The world's turned upside down by this war and all that, and he rose from the dead. Yeah, the world would probably wonder. That's just, I've did a couple videos on that. It's just interesting because it fits right with the narrative of Revelation 17 describing, Mystery Babylon, or arrayed in scarlet and purple that sits on 7 mountains. And then you've got these, 7 kings. And I don't know, it's interesting to me. I keep an eye on that, that's for sure.
Definitely, man. There's definitely something to it. And Pope Francis, he's I believe he's the last pope too. I'll go ahead and say that too. I don't know if there's one more, whatever, but I definitely see this thing coming to a climax soon.
I agree with you. Craig had brought up globe Earth is a huge, big lie. Now that I know the truth, I still, believe that the big reason behind the globe and, universe theory, that we're nothing, we're in this ever, is to try to hide and deny the existence of God Almighty. And it also, I think, plays a massive role in the alien deception, because on a flat Earth, we know what they are. They're these alien. You look at their description; they're, I believe, from the rebellion. That's what. And when it's referring to serpents in the Bible, in Jeremiah, I was talking about relating that to the wormwood star, the 3rd trumpet in Revelation. Mm-hmm. They have to have this universe theory and world so they don't, the fallen angels, they're from galaxy, or however they're going to try to spin. But it's I don't cover flat Earth a lot, but I just I do make it known we're on a spinning globe. I do make it.
Right. If you're, I think we're friends on Facebook, aren't we, or not?
Yep, attitude.
Hello. Okay. Well, then, if you look at my my cover photo, current cover photo, it's 200 verses that point to a flat Earth. It's pretty interesting. I should go through it and see if there's any scriptures that have changed from what's on it. But yep. I'm not out there standing on the street corner yelling flat Earth to everybody, but I certainly will have the conversation with people without fear. When I'm talking about things going on in the world or whatever. Yeah, basically the whole world believed that the world was flat until the globe lies began. That's one thing I do tell people, and that good men threw their Bibles overboard, literally over the ship, because they couldn't, when they started believing that the globe, in the globe lies, because the Bible always said that it was, flat or non-movable, stationary, whatever, all that stuff. So we lost Mike there. He'll probably come back, but we're gonna wrap this up pretty soon. I've been on for over 3 hours, and I don't want to go for 6 or 8 tonight. So probably gonna not be everybody, my regulars and his regular people coming over and hanging through this show. It's been a decent show. Mike always is going to give us real talk and straight talk. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. I don't like to sugarcoat the truth or tickle anybody's ear. I don't want to scare nobody neither, But it seems like we're all on the same page, most of us, in this community of truthers and whatnot. So I really appreciate everybody coming and tuning in for this show with Mike, the Like See God Warrior, and listening to his wisdom and testimony and life story and stuff. Really, really great to be around like-minded people and to chat with y'all and share ideas and try and get to the bottom of this, thing that's going on. Where none of us, I don't think, are just like totally obsessed with the Mandela effect or the Bible changes or something like that. We're all just curious, and I happen to be a researcher for almost 28 years now. I've been down every single rabbit hole just about that there is, worth going down. I'm sure, at least. I love the truth, and I don't think I have all the answers. I don't think anybody has all the answers, but we can certainly try to put the puzzle together to put it together, and that's what I enjoy. And so I do these live streams to also encourage people like me. We're just regular people, to go ahead and not be scared to stand up and speak up against tyrants, to go ahead and make videos, if you're about what you're passionate about, if it's truth related, if it's health related, if it's, you just against government corruption. We talk about a lot of topics here, and we will continue to talk about a lot of topics here. Hey, and Mike is back. Good to see you again, brother. Like I was telling them, we're probably not going to go much longer now. I know you got to sleep. It's going on midnight probably where you're at. It's going on 11 here. I guess we'll do kind of like a Awakened Saint final thoughts deal.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I talk a lot about, I do it myself. I pray for knowledge, wisdom, discernment, and understanding every day before I read scripture or research something. And we're in a literal age of deception, and I'd recommend everyone pray for it. To draw close to the Lord God, to have a relationship with Him through, Christ. And, He'll guide you. He'll, I talk about hearing the voice of the Lord. I refer to it more as feeling it. I've never audibly heard anything, but like you can feel it like in your spirit, your soul. And He'll guide you. He will. And in the times we're in, everyone needs to, make sure they have that relationship, just because of this time of trouble. It's going to be, if you want to get through, it's that you're going to have, the Lord in your heart, in your life. And one just quick tip, when this starts, if anyone does, like say, try to make a run for it or something, I'm just telling you up front, now I don't even need to have been in the military to know, but I've known it for a while. If you take any type of electronic device, phone, computer, whatever. Don't matter if you don't get on the Wi-Fi with it; they'll know where you're at. It's just a simple that they can track. So if you're put in a position where you have to do that, you can't take no devices with you. I mean, I guess somebody called me Brandon or something. That's all right. I forget my own name sometimes. But no, and just be be aware. Just pay attention. I mean, I think we brought up a lot of good things. Just like what you bring up was September 23rd, 2017. It would fit more in line with what is the time frame. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because that's the only reason I don't push the 2012 one too much is 2012 to now 2020. That's 8 years. It don't fit in the time frames we're
right.
giving.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this one, for the time being, anyway, it fits directly with it. So. But that's this war in heaven. I mean, it's if y'all get a chance to watch that video, we wrestle not with flesh and blood, did on Wormwood, and they relate what was talked about in Jeremiah, I think 8 and 9 or 7 and 8, one or the other. About and relates it to this Wormwood star could be the fallen coming through, back onto the earth. And also gets into this technology, talking about it's interesting. But as I said, the first trumpet that wore, the second one, the great mountain burning with fire, and then say the third, that's that is them coming onto the earth. That would turn the world upside down and cause a time of trouble like never before. They could even use the excuse of this war from the first trumpet, and what they're going to portray is an asteroid from the second, that they had to come back. We were destroying ourselves. They had to be the saviors for humanity or something. That could very well, be it. Because I think the fourth trumpet is what's been talked about in Amos 8 with the sun going down at noon. And, it says when God does that it would bring the world to its knees. Well, those three trumpets, that would bring the world to its knees. And then there's the fourth with the sun going down at noon. It's, that's what I, can't prove it, but, that's my thoughts on it. But I'm rambling, man. Go ahead.
No, it's good stuff. You're talking good. You're talking good. What do you think's going on with the sun then right now?
Well, you think it really until probably the last
Well, I'm interrupting that because for some reason I'm having internet issues right now in the middle of the night. Imagine that. I tell you, YouTube really, really, really hates the truth. They do not like it when people come on here and talk about the truth, and they show you how the revelation in the Bible is proving that we're living in the times of the Bible that it talks about. So I appreciate you being here, Susan. Sorry that I took a nap during this. I should have never had to do this here, but they banned my video from earlier, the live stream that we did tonight. Worldwide, just because of the last 5 minutes of the video. I did play a stupid skit from Saturday Night Live. So all 4 hours got wiped out just from the very end of it, which is coming up soon. And I can't even get to that point now because it's like they're pushing back. It's barely loading. I don't have hardly two windows open, and this is ridiculous, man. It's always something pushing the truth, trying to hide the truth, stop the truth, but the truth will not be silenced. We won't be silenced. So I think we can go back now and finish it. There's only about 30 minutes left now before I have to stop it before the copyright part gets me again. So like I said, I appreciate you, Susan. We had a good crowd. If you see, I was trying to show you, we had over 100 views on it. There was at least 15 to 20 people in here throughout the whole show, the whole 4 hours, and so I'm glad that I'm able to at least get it back up this way, so people can see Mike's testimony hear Mike, and I'm glad that he's going to be doing live shows. So you should definitely check out his channel, Mike, the God Warrior. Sorry. Anyway, all right. So I'm gonna start that back up now, and I might talk for a few minutes after this too. We'll see what happens. All right. Thank you so much again.
Have 4 to 6 months, but I do think Sun Simulator is completely plausible. I think they very well have something like that up there.
Right.
I talked earlier about.
Go ahead.
Well, go ahead, man. I forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry. I'm sorry, brother. Well, all right. What I'm saying is it's either a sun simulator, a fake sun up there in front of the dying sun, or we are just seeing the actual sun turning into a white dwarf or whatever. See, they say that the sun has 5 billion years left. Well, we know that's bull crap because it's just we know how it plays out, the revelation, how it plays out. Yeah. So, all right, so it's already changing. Apparently, we know that the sun will scorch men too. The last 6 years now, I've dealt with every spring. I'm allergic to the sun. I can't even go outside, and I start breaking out in hives all over anywhere the sun hits me.
Now, remember this though. Now, with the fourth bowl or the fourth vial, this angel given power to scorch people with the sun. It literally uses the word scorch. The 7 bowls or 7 vials, that I did a video actually not too long ago. The 7 vials are the literal wrath of God Almighty. Just like the first vial or bowl is strictly against those who accepted the mark of the beast. They get a noisome and grievous sword. People that have not accepted the mark, at that point, I think it'll be to the point that you either have the mark or don't. Like you're going to be saved or you aren't. But those that have it, they suffer that first judgment, and then the rest, keep coming, because when it says, they use the word scourge. when that happens, I think this angel will literally, it'll be just as it says, because at the fifth bowl, it talks about darkness being cast over the seed of the beast kingdom, and like they gnawed their tongues for pain. Well, they just got done being scorched by this angel, who has the authority to scorch people with the sun. Now God's cast this darkness over the seed of the beast and his kingdom, and they're just sitting in total darkness, gnawing their tongues for the pain caused by being scorched by the sun.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, but those 7 bowls, that is the literal wrath of God Almighty. That's what we won't have to experience. And that doesn't mean he's going to take us out of here. Just like the first vial, that goes against it because it says it's a judgment strictly against those who accepted the mark of the beast and no one else.
Exactly.
So that shows that, you can still be on earth. It's just, he's, just like the first one, it's strictly to them, and so are the rest of them. Just like being scorched by the sun, I don't know how we'll be shaded from it or protected, but we will somehow. I have faith in that. If we're not left to the judgment of God, the wrath of God. God. We're left to the judgment of God. Believe that the wrath of God we're not subject to. But that don't mean you'll be taken away from here. That just means you'll be protected. Just like Lot in Sodom and Gomorrah. Just like Noah, he built an ark. He got Lot, and his family out of there. You know what I mean? That don't mean you're going to be taken out of here. It just means you will be protected from
exactly. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. The full armor of God. You'll have the full armor on.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. Is we're all slowly but surely putting on the full armor of God.
Yeah. Sean's talked about that, like this kind of being like we're in boot camp. We're like basic, like training for the war to come. That I think's close. And I mean, like you said, the September 23rd thing, it definitely is something that, based on my advice, I wouldn't just write off. And, right. I think it is something that, we should
I'll tell you what it might be is one of the last big signs, in the heavens that this thing is coming,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep. That's why I can't let it go. I can't let myself forget about it. That it happened just 2.5 years or whatever it's been ago. It's still in play. And
yeah, exactly.
And I don't believe that Revelations is all in order neither. That I've known for a long time.
Right.
It definitely is jumping around. There's nothing wrong with that. But it will all of it will pretty much come to pass like it says. I do believe, like it's already, showing it's, pretty much point on.
Absolutely. That's the one thing I'm for sure about. It will all come to pass, just as it's, just as it was written.
Yep. So wow, man, I definitely hope that we do this more often, and you should definitely have people eventually on yours too, so that you can bounce off each other.
I am actually. I might get Karen from the Supernatural Life channel. She's up in Canada, and she has. I really wanted to get her on there. if I'm able to do it tomorrow, I'm going to talk for like an hour or so. And, you know, that's the only thing like I talked about with the live streams, because sometimes like Sean and people have asked me, even I had to cancel one time on Awake and Saint with my health. Sometimes I just don't, you know, I mean, like one morning, you know, like I stay in the bathroom, like throwing up this bile off of my liver or gallbladder, whichever it is.
Sure.
And yeah, I wish I could, you know, do more, you know, or be more, you know, just more available.
Right.
But I am going to try, you know, when I feel like it, to come on and, you know, and what you said, I mean, absolutely. You know, you got to have people on, on your, especially like-minded people, because you know, this is fellowship. We're hearing each other's views, you know, learning, because, you know, in several on several channels, by watching live streams, you know, not just listening to what they say on the show, but in the comments, had people bring up through fellowship something I didn't know, something I learned that day that, you know, proved to be, you know, I think useful information. You know, some of it I've included in videos.
Right. So, wow. Yeah, and I want to eventually have a call-in show too, so that, you know.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
no
I'd like
doubt.
that figured out, you know, at some point. And you too, yes, definitely. You know, and it is almost like this is all the church we need, brother, you know, really.
Yeah, well, hey, like I was talking about, we're told God does not dwell in physical buildings. The Spirit of God dwells within us. Now, I'm not telling, if you go to a church, I'm not telling you not to go to church or anything like that. But, you know, what you just said, a lot of us, what we're seeing, we're cast aside. We wouldn't be welcome in a lot of churches.
Brian Stapley's in the house.
I didn't see. I didn't know he was here.
Yeah, he says he's going to bed. Let's all say a prayer for his help too, man. You know, definitely be sending good vibes out there for Brian and Voynich and you and me, everybody that's got our own little health problems and diseases and stuff.
And I was gonna bring up anyone that hasn't seen it. Last Monday, Brian brought me on to his show. It's did well. It's got over 3,000 views, and
right.
I thought me and him covered a lot of good topics. And if y'all haven't seen that, I thought it was a good interview.
Oh man, I've seen it twice. Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Brian was one of the first channels when I made a YouTube in July. He was one of the first. How did I find?
Mm-hmm.
I think I just like in the search engine put like Mandela effects, because you know
that's how
July was when I really found out there was a community for people that remember the way things were, you know. And I watched one of his videos, and he, you know how he does, he goes into giving evidence and proof, and I was like, well, you know, yeah, I can watch this guy. And then he was on Photo Helix on the hot seat about a month after I found his channel.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I've watched him ever since. He's did some good work. And, you know, I was, you know, thrilled that he asked me to come on. You know,
yeah, definitely. Everybody should sub and bell Brian Stavely if you haven't already.
Yeah, no doubt. That's if you see, you know, you've got the eyes to see, and you can clearly see the quantum effect. He stays up on it too. Like, well, at the beginning of the show, the video you had,
mm-hmm.
I didn't know about the Patrick Swayze thing. I can clearly remember him dying. It was, man, if I'm not mistaken, bro, it was on the cover of People magazine, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
But yeah, that's one I hadn't heard of yet.
Yeah. What does it say? Did RFB interview Brian and show Richie about the Mandela effect? Probably. Yeah. I think that's correct.
Hey, and I want to bring up Brian. Well, he brought it up when I was on the show, and we've brought it up. I've brought it up a few times when, the flat earth movement took off and everything. I've heard people I personally know use the word planets is not in the King James Bible. They literally use that as proof, as evidence. Okay, through the changes that it's in there now. Okay, so, they've got to admit they were lying and didn't know if it was in there or not, or they have to admit it's changing. Because, that's what Brian brought up. They literally left and right use that as a basis, like one of their strong points, for proving it. And now it's in there.
Yeah. Somebody says, is Patrick Swayze alive again? I don't think he is, but you never know.
Man,
and Monica says Patrick is now Patricia. Let's hope not. Goodness gracious. Yeah, this has been a good stream, man, and I definitely, like I said, I definitely encourage everyone.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It was, not really planned. I just went live, to test it out.
Right.
And, thank God, like I know how to do it now. And, you jumped in on my chat there and, said you was going live in 20. And
yeah,
I just,
I was definitely,
just jumped over here. That way we could both, get in on it.
Yep.
So,
yep.
Definitely a good stream, man. I appreciate you.
I hope my people will subscribe to you. I'm gonna grab your channel right now so that the link and put it in there for sure, because I want people.
Okay.
People that
I appreciate it. It's I'm getting there. A few of my subs say that they believe I've got more subs than what they show. I don't know if that's true or not. I have, all I can go off of is what they show, but
right. Mine bounces.
I do appreciate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate those that I'm up to
729.
Yeah, 729. So it's getting there.
Yep. That's nice. The like see God Warrior. All right. And that is in there for you guys to please show him some love and sub love.
It's my channel. Things I talked about tonight. It's centered around prophecy, question, but I get a lot into the book of Daniel and the Old Testament prophecies, like Zechariah and Zephaniah. I think it's describing what's going to happen during the second seal. But, that's mainly what I talk about. There's some I've got some great viewers. God's definitely blessed me with that. And anytime people need prayer, just comment it on my most recent video. And, I have viewers that, I honestly believe they seriously pray for people when they're, when they say they are. It's sad, because I've seen people do it personally that will say they're going to pray for someone and they don't even pray for them. Now how hard is it to, if you ain't going to do it, at least don't say it, but
yeah, exactly.
But no, it's God's blessed me with some great viewers, great channels, I work with, coming on here or other, channels I go on. No, I appreciate you bringing me on. It's I had a good time. Yeah, I wish I could feel like this every night.
Right. So yeah, man, I'm definitely when I get off here, I'm going to pray for everybody that was here, and the Lord, God knows our hearts and our intentions and everything, and He knows, He knows when somebody's sincerely praying and caring about others, and definitely, I definitely take the time to pray and ask God to bless everyone who blesses me and others, and heal everybody, according to His will, and to bless and protect and heal His people, His remnant, So definitely we should be praying for everyone, that pray for people that are on the fence too, that I mean, that's who we're trying to reach here. Is more, more than anything, is the people that are on the fence, haven't decided to, yet if they're going to choose good or bad. But we're getting to the point where people are definitely deciding and making a choice. Am I going to, be on the good side or on the evil side, of things? And there are many on the fence, but people are finally starting to jump off the fence and pick a side too, so
right.
yeah.
Well, yeah, there's not going to be no fence riding, and there in Revelation 2, God says He'd rather you be hot or cold. That those people that are lukewarm, that He'll spew out of His mouth, saying that it literally makes God want to vomit, like He despises it. So, a side will have to be chosen. I mean, that's obvious.
Yeah.
You can't ride the fence. You've got to pick a side. And
right, that's right, brother man. So it says, Mike, are you going to go viral in Jesus' name? Larry said. Or he says, well, Mike.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll take it as far as I can. I mean, we're all on borrowed time, especially once the Son of Perdition's revealed. We'll definitely be shut off YouTube. I would bet money on that. But, maybe even before then, one of the smaller channels I'm sub to, he put out a video earlier where they're messing with his view time. Well, I've seen it on mine. Brian's seen it on his. All these little, like, backdoor methods they've got to where people won't see your videos. They try to... they pay trolls to give your video thumbs down. They, you know what I mean? It's an effort being put toward it. And look at, like I said, I can't stress this enough for people that don't, think it's a big deal. They took it to Criminal Minds, a show on primetime television.
Yep.
This is the level they're taking it to. And they portrayed us as like axe murderers who think we're jumping timelines. This is the level they're taking it to. So take heed.
No doubt, man. They want to make us look crazy so that nobody will listen to us, and it might be working, but it won't work forever.
That's right. They are. Hey, I've been bringing up in videos, Tommy, for probably 5 months now, that we are becoming the enemy of all creation. That's how I word it. I think it's fitting because we are. They're making us the enemy of all creation. They don't want us talking about what we see.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, brother man, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Hey, Don, good to see you, Don. We've had a good crowd in here, and it's always good people. I don't think we've had any trolls tonight, maybe one or two, but it seems to be.
Well, you're going to have that, especially what me and you talk about.
Yeah, but you know what? They usually, they usually will just bounce off of us. It almost seems like, I mean, I don't know, but the bigger you get, though, the definitely they get more of them. But hey, this has happened before, folks. So let's comment on that real quick. Do you? I think you were touching on it earlier. I believe history repeats itself, and I do believe that the in the days of Noah, they had technology similar to what we have, or something. They were definitely the Tower of Babel and all that stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, I absolutely do. Well, I brought it up briefly earlier. Talked about it in some of my videos, but I do think it's more advanced now. But you look at like I was talking about, I think on my stream earlier, that there's you look just in the past 100 years how fast technology's increased, okay, why did it just start in the last 100 years? Like no one could figure it out for, thousands of years. It's this, I firmly believe this technology is not of this world. I mean, I always call it fallen angel technology. And that's absolutely what I believe it is. And they've got it to the level now that, that's possibly, there was a video called Happy at CERN where they're mocking us, whether it's true or not. They're suggesting that they are responsible for the Mandela effect. If you break down that video, well, I know Photo Helix had did a video on it. Nicholson 1968 may have did one.
Yeah, I agree.
Man, I can't remember, but there's a few that have did videos on.
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, definitely. They're trying to poison our minds, poison our bodies, and they're trying to prepare for a war with Jesus when he returns. I think they're forming all these weapons that they're making all these weapons that they think they might be successful with, and they're foolish for sure.
Yeah, I talked earlier about the fifth and probably the sixth too trumpet that the media is going to say that it's like some kind of alien invasion.
Yes.
And I think they may use that, in Revelation 16, it talks about the three unclean spirits like frogs, which, you look at the face of a stereotypical alien like frog.
Yeah, brother.
Mouth of, dragon, beast, and false prophet. Well, it says they go to gather the armies for that great battle, Armageddon. Well, I think that's going to be their narrative, that they that this outside alien force is coming they were responsible for the fifth trumpet, and they're coming, to invade. The world has to join hands, and, but in reality, they're gathering against the return of Jesus Christ. But they're going to be deceived into, who knows what narrative they'll come up with. But that's I kind of think that's how their story for gathering the armies.
Yep, me too.
Oh man, you've got that thing packed. Yeah, I guarantee you'll feel that.
Oh yeah, brother man. Like I said, I only need one an hour. Yeah, it's like hitting it's like smoking a half a joint. Just doing one of those is like literally like smoking a half a joint. Once.
It's usually when I do it, it's later in the evening, and I'll just roll me one up. Usually can't even smoke at all. That's it. That might be all I do for 3 days a week. But it definitely my PTSD, anxiety, depression, just going through the things we're going through. It helps. It's not. Alcohol is like 3 times more harmful. The government is coming against it just for what you said. They don't want it to be natural. They want to spray it with a bunch of garbage to further, adapt us to the mixing of the miry clay and iron. Just like I talked about antidepressants. Doctors now, they want to just throw everybody on those. And, I've read, they've got like some form of metal in them. And, I've talked when I quit taking them, I began to wake up. I think it's definitely possible there's a connection to it. But no, that's, I don't, like I say, but it does. It helps, especially in dealing with things, just to calm your think and get a good night's rest, if nothing else.
Yep.
They Live as a documentary. Hey, somebody just did a video in the last week talking about. I think they did like a 49-minute video going through why They Live's a documentary. I haven't got to watch it yet, but yeah, I'll try to find that for in the morning, and I'll put it in the links with the show.
Yeah, definitely. Don said, "What's up with that, Zilren? Illinois is out of flour at all their dispensaries." Huh. Wow. That's weird. Flour to make bread, I guess, and stuff.
Yeah, I haven't heard that.
Yeah. Wow.
The rulers of this world have come together against us, and they think they're going to beat Jesus. They're crazy. I've brought that up, that these elite and people in power deceived probably than anyone on the planet. I didn't mean to say planet. You know what I mean? In the world, they're really deceived because of what he's talking about. They think that they can beat God Almighty, that he's coming back, as God manifests in the flesh, as Jesus Christ on a white horse called Faithful and True. His name's the Word of God, and it says that he'll consume with the spirit of his and destroy with the brightness of his coming. We're told, this is what I think, and this goes against there being a pre-trib rapture, that it says at the last trump will be called up into the clouds. Well, we're told that no flesh can enter into the kingdom of God. So our spirits are going to be called up. All flesh will perish. All flesh. Well, we're told that the earth is reserved for judgment by fire, that God is an all-consuming fire, and it says he will destroy with the brightness of his coming. When he comes back, that's what I think. Those saved, their spirits will be called up. The rest, you're done. Like in a blink of an eye, the earth is reserved for judgment by fire. And that's what connections I've made, where it says at the last trump, and then, that the earth's reserved for judgment by fire. That's what I believe.
So they were talking about flowers as in weed flowers. They said their dispensary was out of nugs. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't reading that right.
Yeah, would have bought some hemp flowers, I think it said, and they didn't like them.
I haven't seen a lot that I enjoy from that I'm impressed in from the dispensaries. Unfortunately, but I hope it's going to get better. But if you can find better on the street than in the dispensary, something's wrong.
Oh, man, it's like I said, the government trying to take us over now. I know you've brought up. It's so they can pollute it. That's so they can pollute it. It's not
and make money off it. Make money off tax it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Which, they off of it back, 90. It's now that it's been used for medical purposes, like to hit people, something that could help them with cancer or, something. But like you said, they've got to put their stuff on it, their chemicals.
Yeah, well, if they genetically modify it in the wrong way, which they've done to all their other seeds, they can make it where we start getting cancer from smoking it, lung cancer or whatever, They can manipulate it that far.
Right.
That's the problem. I ain't worried about what they spray on it. I'm worried about what they're doing to the genetics of the plant. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to tell. I mean, it's really,
No,
And
listen,
see,
brother,
there's another thing.
It's not hard to tell. Listen, because you eat GMO. If you eat GMOs for 10 years or whatever, and nothing but GMOs, there's a good chance you're going to get some kind of cancer because Monsanto has manipulated that. They've modified that the genetics of that plant, the DNA, and they made it that way. So it's it's very easy to see what they can do with marijuana, with medical weed. And they want somebody to die from marijuana so they can say, see, it's an evil drug.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt, man. It's all, anything, Craig brought up, the love of money is the root of all evil. Well, you look, just look at people that have money and then look at what they're really into. They've literally given their life and soul over to the devil himself. They've literally. And it's for that purpose, money, greed. They would rather burn eternally and have a good life here for who knows how long. Anymore, you see some of these actors, allegedly, they get killed at like 22, 23, But it's I was looking at yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's when you can really start to see the world for what it really is, man. It's depressing.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. But we have, thank goodness, we have the Lord. We have God to help us get through it. Where people are going to have heart attacks from seeing what's coming. That won't be us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's no, just seeing the world for what it is. I'm telling, some people can't. You see how some people clam up when you start talking about truth. I've seen several do that with the quantum effect, but some can't handle the depth of it. Like they can start to get into a little of what's really going on. Like they cannot stomach it. They can't handle it.
Baby, the mini cat, Missy. Say hi, Missy. See yourself, Missy. She's like, put me down. Come on. Oh dear. Well, brother, man, yeah, we're coming up on 4 hours now. So, and you were with me for a good bit of. I think you were with me for 3.5, 3 hours or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
we've been
I
going
appreciate
on.
you having me on, brother.
Man, I really
appreciate you having me on, man.
Yeah, I really appreciate you. Go ahead and just get just definite final thoughts for sure, and goodbyes and stuff, and then we'll wrap this thing up. And like I said, I look forward to your live stream tomorrow and all of your future ones all too, right, man. Definitely. So cool. Appreciate you, one, and God bless you and everything. So go ahead and go ahead and finish this up here.
All right. Well, I've already went through my final thoughts. So right. It's one thing I will say here, Craig's talking about the prison system. I'll tell you what, it started with Reagan putting people in prison, but the Clintons literally made an industry, a business. People I know now that are locked up, if I want to say put $20 on their commissary account, I have to send 23 or have 23 taken off my card because it's a $3 charge every time just to put money in their account. The phone system, the way they've got that fixed up, is ridiculous. They are making a literal fortune off of it. They were one of the big pushers. They made the penitentiaries a business, literally.
Yeah. I can say something on that. How about this? In our local jail here, you can get you can get an iTab or a tablet, that your little tablet thing, that you can play on, watch movies on. This one even acts like a phone, okay? And you can call. You can stay on this thing all day long, and there's two plans, 3 cents a minute or 5 cents a minute, or 6 cents a minute. I don't know, whatever. But either one, and one of them gives you the option to stay on use it as a phone, and you can sit there on your bunk and talk to your family all day long on this thing. Where you have to stay at a payphone and collect calls and all that. You can call and share music with them. There, you can watch movies, new movies and stuff. Long as you're paying, and then how about this? Now you can order special food items where you can have a double Angus beef cheeseburger and the sides and drink delivered right to your bunk for $15, or you can get a pizza delivered now in jail. It's crazy, man. They're making it to where they want people to stay in there. These local jails, they get money from the federal government for housing people. And we had a sheriff here one time that wanted to build a jail that would hold 10,000 people, and he was planning on filling it up too. You can believe it. So
10,000.
We're living in the police state for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. It's like I said, a catastrophe. The world been brought to its knees. A time of trouble like never before. That'll usher in a martial law state with ease, I believe.
Yep, exactly. No doubt about it. I believe it too. All right, brother. Well, God bless you, man. I sure appreciate your wisdom and your testimony and insight on
thanks
things.
for having me on.
Yeah, let's do it again sometime. I'll definitely send people your way. For sure, I'll send more people your way, as time goes on.
All right, man.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
God bless you.
Have a great one. Thank you so much.
All right, bro.
I'm just going to play a song and be done probably. So thank you. I look forward to your show. And thank you, everybody that came over with Mike from his channel. I really appreciate you guys. And my people, that were here too. Thank you so much. Let me see. Before we go, wow, so glad I was able to get this live stream from earlier tonight in, and you guys could, we'll be able, the people in the future will be able to listen to Mike's testimony and everything that he gave. Really appreciate you being here, Susan, on for most of this stream here. I'm kind of surprised that there wasn't more people that are up overnight that in here. Usually there is some people up overnight, quite a few, but anyway, I don't think any notifications went out, so that might have been the problem on this live stream here. But like I said, we had a good crowd for that live stream, and it was a good time. I really appreciated it. Everybody being there, being part of it, and everything. So let me stop screen share. Hey. Yes, I am live right here at 4:25 a.m. It is Monday now. Monday. Good morning. It's Monday. Let's get ready to rumble. Yes, we all know how Mondays can be, but I hope everyone has a blessed Monday, a marvelous Monday. I really really sure am glad that we have the community that we have. We have the best community, best family online, bar none. We are blessed to be the best. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this live stream. Like I said, I decided to do this so that we would have this live stream from earlier on because they banned it worldwide for the last part of it that I didn't play tonight. Obviously, again, which was a skit from Saturday Night Live that about Judge Judy, and I'll go ahead and put that in there. Let's see. No, I'm not even going to mess with it. I was going to put a link to it, but maybe I will in the comments or something afterwards. But once again, here it's Mike's Mike the See God Warriors web channel. Please show him some sub love. Thank you. Thank you for subbing to him, Susan. I did see where you said you had subbed him. I appreciate that. He does too, I'm sure. Man, oh man. Well, just for kicks and giggles, I want to see if there is anybody live out there right now overnight. Yeah, a couple people, but that one of them's a 24-hour channel. But then you got Moshe Report from Israel. He's got 62 people watching. Glowbusters 2 has 35 people watching. That's nice. But that's it on my prescription thing. So anyway, I'm gonna get off here and get some rest, and then get back up probably in a few hours and start my day. Once again, thank you, Mike, again for coming on the show, and really appreciate everyone. Have a great rest of your morning, and we'll see you on the flip side. Tommy here, Tommy out. God bless you all.